Hello. Hello. We have returned. I'm steeping some green tea. So, I like that slide. I think it's funny. Welcome back. I had a shower. I'm making some green tea. Steeping away. Reiketa's attempt to appeal his criminal proceeding has been denied. I am not surprised. To the surprise of fucking nobody. Like, whatever. Yeah, of course it did. I feel like we mentioned this already, but is that, like, brand new? Because I think he tried to do more than one appeal, right? He tried to have something denied on jurisdiction, and that was denied. Is this the same, a different one? Oh yeah, I took a quick shower and I took the dog for a walk. Oh, alright, are you guys ready to get into this? So this is part 2. If you're following along or you're watching this in the future, we are now jumping into the Q&A part of this where they're gonna read the super chats, basically. Let's go! I don't have anything to add.
Happy to hear from him.
Okay, this is from Tet. He says, for Vic, I'm amazed you've weathered this drama storm this long. The fact you've done so without striking out at anyone is what proves to me those allegations are bunk.
What? He struck out against them in this video. Like, in this interview, he struck out against Chris. He also was attacking Funimation. He also attacked somebody making 400 tweets. He also attacked, he said that he did this as a last resort and he didn't want to, which is him admitting that he's attacking them. So, like, wrong, incorrect. Oh, good job. I'm glad you have the comprehension of a child.
People seek stability and peace. I hope you get both. And then he followed up with, after Anime North, he says AN 2005, I assume Anime North. We talked on Instant Messenger. I was depressed, suicidal from a bad breakup, never got the chance to thank you for helping, got back into anime and even began doing subtitles for a few series. So thank you for helping me. See,
Thank you for that.
Okay, legitimate question. What made you think it was a good idea to text Vic Mignogna about that? I'm not telling you you're wrong. I want to understand why people think this is an appropriate thing to be texting Vic Mignogna about. Like, why? Please, I implore you.
This is what I'm talking about.
You can't put a price tag on that kind of thing. I will never cease to be humbled by those kind of messages. What was his name? It started with a T, didn't it?
Tet, just T-E-T.
Tet. Thank you, Tet. Thank you. Thank you. I'm
Why? Okay. Are you noticing what I'm noticing here? Are you guys noticing that Vic Mignogna is being sent messages of fans saying that they're suicidal and he's thanking them for those messages? You can't put a price on that? Thank you for sending this message about how and talking to me about your suicide and your breakup. Like, why is he thanking this person and encouraging receiving these types of talk? Like, so not everything that is okay. So when I say something that, like, is beneficial, Vic is clearly getting something out of this interaction, right? It doesn't have to be money. What I think is he's getting is a narcissistic reply, or a narcissistic supply. He's getting to feel like he is superior and getting to feel like he is helping people, or he's getting elation from people coming to him about these things and putting him in that position of power where he has say and sway over people's lives. And that's probably not the most healthy thing in the world. Aren't these literally Nick's super chats, meaning they paid to send those messages? Yes, they paid Nick, not Vic. So Vic isn't necessarily getting paid for these messages, but Nick Reiketa is, which is weird when you think about it. I told I stand with Vic supporters about these emails and that this is not okay. Yeah, this isn't healthy. It's not healthy. And Vic being out here thanking people for these types of messages, why?
I'm honored that I might have just happened to be in the right place at the right time to be of encouragement to you, man. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Cashew Matthew says Vic's last name Mignana sounds like
He's literally just thanking people for putting him in a position of power in their lives. After he said he didn't want to be a moral, whatever, yo.
mañana, which is Spanish for tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Hence, Vic is the future. Mike,
which means
Sorry, excuse me, I threw up in my mouth a little bit. That turned out to be not the case. Sorry.
he's never the present. Pick tomorrow, but not today. And tomorrow is always a day away, as we all know from Annie.
Yes. My wife played in that show, so I
Me
know
too.
all the music.
We talked about this.
Yeah.
I played Rooster. I played Miss Hannigan's brother. How cool. Yeah, I think we did. I think your wife mentioned that she was in that show.
Yeah. It was that was a long time of my life. All the rehearsals. Mike Walters says, question for Vic, without specifics and not counting those directly involved in the case or the most vocal detractors overall. So ignoring all those people, how would you gauge your relationship with Dallas, Houston, and LA based VAs?
Well, it's interesting because I have.
Excluding anyone who's ever been critical of you, how do you get along with everybody else? What? What kind of question is this? Is Vic about to explain to us how he doesn't really have a very good relationship with anybody? I think he might.
I have secretly been contacted by a good number of voice actors
Might
who have
have
said, I'm sure you understand, why I don't want to get into this. I don't want to, I don't want to be attacked. I got a life, I got a family, or I don't want to get into this, but I'm so sorry this has happened. And, every time we've ever been together, I've been at lots of events with you and worked with you, and you always seemed like a really straight up guy. And I'm so sorry this has happened. A lot of them have privately reached out to me and told me that.
I don't believe you. Look at them shifty eyes. Not only do I not believe you and how much you're looking away from the camera as you're speaking right now, but also, name them, coward. Because guess what? I would want to know if people were reaching out to Vic Mignogna and being like, yeah, I definitely support this guy because I don't want to support that voice actor. Prove it. I don't believe you. I like how he started the sentence with maybe.
So I'm very grateful for those.
Yeah, I think, and I think it just goes to show like how.
That didn't answer the question, Vic.
How destructive this thing is, because there are people, and I've talked to voice actors.
Wow, it's almost like a group of YouTubers made that intentionally destructive and caustic to make money. Strange.
And Funimation employees who have expressed similar sentiments, but they can't say anything. They won't put their name on it because they're terrified of what might happen.
Isn't that how unfortunate? How unfortunate is that?
It's horrid.
It is. That's actually very unfortunate that there are so many voice actors allegedly out there that exist in the anime industry that are willing to support and are not willing to speak out against harassment, sexual or otherwise. It is depressing. That's probably not depressing in the way that you think it is. I was going to put this on my arm and then I changed my mind. I'm putting it on my neck instead. These are little heat patches, by the way. They're little hot, cold things because my whole right side of my body's just screaming at me still. Don't mind me as I slap this fucker right on the back of my neck. But yeah. There's a super chat here that I don't know if they're going to get to or not, but it says, since Mars Girl is still slandering you for over 2 years now, will you file a lawsuit for slander? Well, that would be slander and defamation, and since Mars Girl wasn't included in the initial ones, I can't imagine she would be included in others. And also, where? What slander?
Literally rule these people by fear. That they can't even express an opinion. They can't even have an opinion different than the mob, or the mob will attack them too.
The difference is opinion about sexual harassment. That's the difference of opinion. Again, they still haven't actually defined what it was. Excuse me, the difference of opinion is Vic being allowed to touch people and touch whoever he wants indiscriminately and make sexual comments to other employees or co-workers at public events that are work-related. So no, this is not an in-group, out-group things that we can agree to disagree on. No, stop touching children, Vic. You literally admitted to touching children.
Some of you would be real surprised if I told you some of the people I've heard from, and I was very encouraged by that. But
name drop them.
Yeah, there have been, certainly.
Spigot84 says, God bless you, Vic. I'm continuing praying for your strength. Thank you so much for the work and passion that you bring to every character. Again, love you, brother Vic, and God bless.
Thank you, Spick. Thank you, Spigot.
Spigot.
What great name. Thank you, Spigot.
Tina says, hey, Vic, I'm on to Nick. He's holding the GoFundMe money from you to do the show, which you would never do since you hate him. If that's the case, blink 3 times, we'll know it's true. Seriously, you'll always be Broly and Ed to me. Oh, my goodness. Richard Pierce says 2 words, gay pants. Well, those are 2 words. Fan Advocacy Network says, Vic, I just wanted to send some positivity and prayers your way.
Can't we just stop the pants hate? I just want to say that. Can't we stop the pants hate?
At least for Pride Month, guys. You got to lay off until the end of June. Vic, I just wanted to send some positivity and prayers your way. I hope.
One of the comments in the side chat said, Vic, have you thought about making your own dubbing studio?
Hope you know just how much you and your work means to us fans. We will always have your back. Keep up the great work.
Mark from our chat said, y'all know how far Nick has fallen? Yes, we heard that breaking news that his recent appeal to dismiss got rejected. Tee, good. Consequences, actions, accountability. Let's go.
Andrew.
Thank you.
Andrew War Snowboard says, Vic, thanks for answering my question about my job of 9 years on Twitch last week. I interviewed for a promotion as early as Monday, and I'm really hopeful I'll get it. I can't wait.
Hope the best for you, Andrew.
Can't wait to see you at Matsuri. Godspeed.
Thank you. Good luck with that job.
Let's see. Adrian Valladares says,
Vic stands working at Twitch? I could make a comment here about Osmongold, but, you know.
Vic, I've been informed by my C-word of a client that you finally decided to come clean about being Vic's lawyer.
He's making fun of the guy with a vocal damage. That was the lawyers opposed to Vic. Didn't Nick Reiketa say he was going to try not to be a disgusting piece of shit while Vic was on? Is Vic going to call him out for this? More at 11.
For that, I'm suing you. Let me get up and... I stood up too fast and died.
Are you okay?
It's best you don't know. Let's clear something up, though. Am I...
Oh, he's going to plead ignorance. I see.
Your lawyer, Vic? Have I ever been your attorney?
You've never been my attorney. Ever.
Right. Well, I mean, that was a little forceful. I don't know.
I wouldn't have you.
Trainer Red says, never even heard of Vic until all the nonsense went down. Really unfortunate what happened to him, but glad things are turning around and he's still hanging in there. I'd say God bless, but I heard he wears some really strange pants.
God loves my pants. Okay, I just want to say that.
How are things going, by the way? I wanted to ask you that, and I think that's a good segue into that, because last I heard, you did a convention, not a convention, you did a signing in San Antonio. And
oh my goodness.
I barely even knew this one was going on. And then suddenly I'm getting pictures of these lines that are like, people standing outside in San Antonio, by the way, is where hell actually is on Earth.
Yeah.
And there's people just lined up down this entire strip mall. So can you kind of talk about how your appearance is?
I was in tears. I was in
Apparently, Vic Mignogna just cries a lot.
tears.
You got to stop crying.
I know. No, but at the time, it was so moving to me.
Yeah.
Because you start feeling like nobody cares. Nobody really cares. Nobody's going to show up. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Shut up.
I've thought that for 20 years. If I'm honest, every time I do a panel.
So now he also has imposter syndrome? Now he doesn't think people care? What about all those fans that he said he cared about that he was texting back and forth with? Like, what world does this man live in? It seems like Vic Mignogna, like, shifts realities to whatever he wants to, like, pretend he's being emotional about to try to make himself sound more likable. Like, what the fuck?
I'm serious, and I've said this out loud sometimes. Every time I'm at a convention and I'm backstage waiting to go out for my Q&A, I think to myself, this is going to be the day that I pull the curtain and I walk out and nobody's going to be there. Nobody cares. So
you tie your personality around the acceptance and adoration of strangers. And you tie your value as a person to that. And whether or not people are willing to come out to conventions for you. Well, I guess that explains why you care so much that conventions weren't interested in having you there anymore, but blaming everybody except for yourself is still a you problem. But that's kind of a little telling, isn't it? Don't we think?
I have not been to San Antonio for probably 10 years plus. And so I made arrangements with a awesome store down there, Anime Tokyo, to do a signing at their store. Drove down Friday night. Saturday morning, the store owner told me people had been lining up since 7:30 a.m. And I thought, wow, that's humbling. But I don't know how many. I got there at 11:30. I was supposed to start signing at noon. And I got there at 11:30, and Anime Tokyo is in a...
Marshall says that on a live stream last year, Vic said he became an overachiever vying for acceptance so hard because his dad left when he was 9. And how old is Vic Mignogna now? At that point, it's just a choice.
And the line went all the way down the length of the strip center, and it was a long strip center. I said hi to everybody, thanked them for being there, and that I'd see them soon. And I went inside and I sat up at the table, and they started letting people in, like, kind of 50 people into the store. And then as 10 people would leave, they'd let 10 more in and keep rotating them. Every 2 hours, I would say to the group in front of me, hey guys, give me 1 second. And I'd run outside just to say hello to anybody that was still waiting and thank them for waiting in the heat that you that you mentioned earlier.
Whew.
And every 2 hours I went out.
What the fuck does this have to do with anything? Did all those people want to be touched too? Were they all sweaty? Like, what are you talking about?
There, the line was still all the way to the other end of the shopping center, and I was supposed to sign from 12 to 6, and I never left the table, didn't have lunch, never stopped signing from 12 to 10 p.m. The organizer, the guy that owned the store, estimated around 800 people in that one day, and he sent me the coolest surveillance video. They had a camera in the corner and they sped it up, and it's just this. I'm sitting at this table and it's all these people, and you can see the time counter in the corner running.
Does that sound weird to anybody else? They sent Vic the surveillance tape of the store sped up so he could see that allegedly 800 people estimated came through the store to go see him in San Antonio. Like, nobody, that doesn't sound weird to anybody else. Like, maybe that's innocuous, but I mean, I believe him. I just think it's a weird action to take. Like, for the store owner. Like, the store owner did that. Like, why? What? That's so weird. Did those people agree to do that? Like, did they need to sign a waiver? It just sounds like a weird thing to do. And then you posted it online because you're so desperate for people to acknowledge that other people or this group of people think you matter? Like, what does this have to do with your lawsuit? Lawsuit. What does this have to do with you being inappropriate with fans? What the fuck does this have to do with... All this does is show that you're... He said that if, like, all of these people, one of them... Whatever. This is so dumb. You think a lot less of the store owner now? I mean, I would think a lot less of a store owner for pulling this kind of stupid-ass stunt and enabling this piece of shit. Like, whoever the store owner is, I think he's a fucking asshole, because all he did was embolden this fucking garbage that we've been watching going on. Like, what the why would you do that? Why would you actively participate in assisting these fucking assholes harassing and fucking... Vic admitted to stalking 2 women and fucking predatory behavior. Like, why would you enable that?
Starting at noon and going to 10:08. It was incredible. So that's a specific answer to San Antonio. But the broader answer is every event that has had me has seen an uptick in attendance. They have a great turnout. We get
You don't get it. It's not about the money. It's not about the numbers. It's about the liability. You're a liability. Shockingly, I believe the store owner said he made less money that day they had Vic there because they were all only there for Vic and not interested in the shit being stolen in the store. That doesn't surprise me. That actually doesn't surprise me at all. An uptick in people rotating through the store does not necessarily mean you're selling anything. You have to have the right people there with the right kind of person there with the right, you have to set the conditions. And it doesn't surprise me that just getting Vic Mignogna there did not set the conditions. Vic Mignogna stands only like Vic Mignogna. They're only going to spend money on Vic Mignogna stuff. So unless the store was also selling Vic Mignogna merch that the store was getting money for, then they're not going to buy the other stuff. That's business 101.
along great. I did a show in New Jersey a few weeks ago, and the organizers got the same, handful of hate, negative things that all of them do, but they did what they should do. They just ignored it. And I went, had a great weekend.
So what was the store owner going to do if Vic had touched people inappropriately at the store? What was this? I'm not saying he did, or Vic Mignogna did, or even that necessarily Vic Mignogna was going to. Hypothetically, what was this store owner's plan? Did he have a plan? What if on that surveillance tape you saw Vic Mignogna slap some chick's, like some girl's ass? Like, did this guy have a plan?
The organizers came up to me at the end of the weekend and said, "You're like one of the best media guests we've ever had. Our staff loves you. The fans clearly love you. We've watched you interact with people, and we want you here anytime you want to be here." That has been it's been that kind of positive turnout and positive experience every single time any event has been willing to come down on the side of the attendees.
That's not the side of the attendees. That's not the side. That's your side. That's not the side of the attendees. Those are different things.
Instead of on the side of a handful of haters.
Right.
I mean, if I was running a business, call me crazy, Nick, but if I was running a business where I want people to buy tickets to come.
That's interesting. So Mars Girl said that she was pretty upset about the San Antonio store because she used to live there and used to go to the store and was a guest for their grand opening. And then Joseph said that he went to that store in 2021, which was the year of this video. And he and his cousin went to see Harry Styles, and it's a great anime store, and they're going to go back. He asked one of the employees about Vic's appearance, and he said he was nice, and asked about Mars Girl, and the employee didn't know who she was. Mars Girl said that's funny because the store owner DM'd Mars Girl after and said, after she had said she was never going to go back, and he said he remembered me from my guest appearance at their grand opening. So the question then becomes, Joseph, did you talk to the store owner, or did you talk to an employee who perhaps was hired there after Mars Girl had moved away? Oh, there you go.
Come to my show, I would probably bring someone who would generate 100 or 200 or 300 or 800 tickets and ignore the 20 or 10 or even 5 people that complained about that person. That's just common sense. I mean,
you can't treat everyone like numbers. We're back again. Okay, so this is okay, let me ask again. The store owner of this store in San Antonio, what was his plan if 5 people out of 800 had an experience where Vic Mignogna was crossing boundaries with them? What was that store owner going to do to ensure that didn't happen? And 2, what was he going to do if it did? What was the plan? Did they have a plan? Like, do you understand what I'm saying here? Vic Mignogna is admitting that people have bad experiences with him. Period. He is saying that people have bad experiences with him. He's just saying that the number isn't significant enough for the convention runners to take the financial hit, meaning that those 5 people's safety is less important than the amount of money. He is putting a dollar amount onto his ability to harass people and being allowed to continue to harass people. So, it's not, he is saying that it is actually likely that somebody would have had a bad experience at this store that he went to in San Antonio. So, as a responsible business owner, what, pray tell, was this store owner's thought process? What was the store owner going to do if he reviewed that security footage and there was obviously Vic Mignogna harassing somebody? And God forbid it did happen. What was the store owner going to do to compensate that person who was injured in their store that he could have been held liable for?
I mean, it's just a good business decision.
Yeah, I fully agree. And
yeah, Joseph, I'm not gonna lie. You didn't. Why would you even say that you asked an employee anyway when Mars Girl was talking about the owner? I'm just curious about what the relevance is to a random employee not knowing who she is, besides to throw doubt on her claim that she knew the store owner. And if you wanted to throw doubt on the claim, why? Because, what you said didn't actually do that. But I don't understand, what your goal was and what you were saying. It came across kind of sideways.
I won't call you crazy because you can't tell me what to do. How dare you try? But no, that's
I'm about to blink 3 times. I'm about to send a message to the people that are watching, Nick. Be careful.
You tell my armed agent in the room with you to get ready. Tell him to cock the weapon. No, I think that's the thing that has been the most baffling for me to watch.
It doesn't matter. But okay, so I'm just going to clear this up real quick. Just to clear this up, I want to point out Mars Girl claimed that she knew the store owner and was there for its opening and was upset by the store owner inviting Vic Mignogna and dealing with this and doing what they did. Your response to that was you went to that store, spoke to an employee who said they didn't know who she was. Why? The employee's opinion is I understand. I just want to clear this up because this seems to be a contention that it seems to be consistently happening. All what you said did was throw shade at Mars Girl and try and throw incredulity onto her statement. And I'm curious as to if that was not your intention, what was the intention? I mean, technically you still don't know that. She's just claiming that. Right? She claimed at the beginning that she's talking about the store owner. So did you just not notice that she said store owner initially? And then even if you didn't, are you what you said, to be clear, what you said then, Joseph, was that Mars Girl claimed that she knew somebody at the store, and then you said you went there and they didn't know who she was. Why? To put incredulity onto what she said, right? Yeah, but why? You're saying it here now, and I'm trying to help clear this up for you. Why? Why were you trying to throw shade about something you didn't know about onto Mars Girl's claim? I'm not trying to come down on you. I'm trying to help you here because you seem to be a little bit lost in the sauce. Because you don't need to throw incredulity at people like that. You could just say, how did you know the store owner? Or can you demonstrate that you knew the store owner of that place? There's ways that you could ask these questions without... I'm not asking you why you went and asked the store owner. I'm asking you why you made that claim here. Because I also can't demonstrate, and you haven't demonstrated that you actually went to that store in the first place. That's not what's in question here, right? Mars Girl is demonstrating her claim, as she is wanting to do. I don't have a Facebook account, but as you can see, here's the demonstration that she did in fact go there. Anime opening, Mars Girl's tag is right there. Let me see if I can adjust this so you guys can see it a little bit better. This one. This one. Ta-da! Mars Girl's tag is right there at the bottom. This is a post from Mars Girl. Autographs. So, I just want to know why you decided that you wanted to randomly throw shade at a claim that you didn't comprehend in a way that, like, didn't really make any sense. Like, what was the... I'm trying to understand what your point was. That's all. But you're not answering the questions. Like, this is what you said. Why? I'm asking you why. What was the point? It's okay, I'll wait. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. Because you seem like you're trying to present yourself as somebody who doesn't want to treat people poorly, at least not anymore. You were trolling before, but now you're trying to be earnest, so you weren't trying to throw shade, you were bringing up the topic. Okay. But what you did was, she made a claim, you made a counterclaim that didn't actually counter what she said, and came off kind of sideways, right? Because you wonder if the employee knew you. You're wondering if the employee lied to you? Is that what you're saying? It's okay, we're patient here. I'm not here to, like, give you the third degree. I think it's trying to stir stuff up too. Okay, so you wanted to know if Mars Girl was lying. You asked the employee if they knew Mars Girl. They said they didn't, and then you brought it up here. Then what you're saying doesn't make any sense, Joseph. It does not follow. Why would you make that comment here if you wanted to know if that employee knew her or not? The employee's not in the chat. Mars Girl is in the chat. If you wanted to ask Mars Girl if she knew that employee, and if that employee was lying to you, then you would need to ask her a question, not make a statement saying that I asked an employee this thing and they said they didn't know her, in response to her saying she knew the owner, because all that does is throw incredulity and shade at Mars Girl's claim to have known the store owner, of which she has demonstrated she absolutely did with her Facebook post. So why would you say that, and why would you say that in the way that you did? I'm asking you what your goal was, because now you're telling me that your goal was to find out if the employee knew her or not. But you're not asking her. You're making a claim. Like, what are you talking about? And Mars Girl's got all the receipts. It's almost like she's been dealing with this for a really long time. This is what I mean. I'm talking about being, like, treating things fairly. Like, we're not gonna sit here and throw, like, random bullshit at people, right? Why would we do that? Part of what we've been doing here this entire day is clearing up misconceptions and understanding. Here's the fucking autographs, voice actors, cosplay rules, Mars Girl tagged from notifications. There you go. Like, I don't know what else I can give to you. Welcome, Anya. Here's the other post. 2016. I believe her. I'm not saying she's lying. I'm not asking you what you believe right now. I'm asking you why you said what you did in the way that you said it. I don't know how to be more clear about my question. You can say you don't want to answer the question, that's fine, but this is how bullshit starts. That's why I'm fucking jumping on this. If it wasn't fucking... This is how fucking rumors and garbage fucking starts, because somebody fucking says something fucking sideways and it doesn't get fucking stomped on. So what are you doing? What are you talking about? Why would you say that in the way that you did in response to the thing that you said it to, if not to throw shade at her? I'm not asking a difficult question. Maybe you were trying to throw shade at her. I don't know. That's why I'm asking. If it wasn't intentional, then it's important that you understand why it would come across that way, so that way you can avoid it in the future. But if you were trying to throw shade at her, then, well, you know, whatever. Then fine, you were throwing shade. And you got called out. It's not that difficult. It's not that deep. Is this Metz like the guy who was on stream? That was like the baseball guy? Baseball guy. Baseball. If this is baseball guy, come on to stream with me. I want to talk to you. We need to get in DMs with me. We need to talk. Okay, so you were not intentionally throwing shade. You were not trying to put incredulity onto her claim. All right. So in the future, to avoid that, I would recommend rephrasing. Because that sounded like you were trying to throw shade. Also, who's evil? Is it me? I've heard I'm very evil. I've been told that my haircut basically defines me as a supervillain. Which I need to shave, by the way. Oh, it's a different Mets? That's too bad. What a shame.
And this is not just limited to your situation. This has become a cultural issue in America, where we have business owners acting against their own interests to bow to the whim of Twitter. And the crazy thing is, I think most normal people spend almost no time on Twitter, even if they have Twitter accounts. And there's statistics about how much of Twitter is actually driven by how few people, and it's embarrassing for those people. And everybody else is just like, you know, they go on, tweet a couple times a day, and then that's it. But it's like businesses have decided that Twitter is their business model, and the Twitter reaction is somehow a thing, and people have learned to leverage that. Very few people can have too much influence, and it's on the businesses.
It shouldn't take a lot of influence to initiate an HR investigation. And in fact, based on what they've said, it didn't. It wasn't Twitter that caused Funimation to do their HR investigation. It was an internal one done amongst the employees. So trying to say otherwise now after the fact is stupid.
Who keep doing this? They're shooting themselves in the foot, in my opinion. I think.
Nick, I was canceled from a convention in 2019 that I was announced for, and a lot of my fans had already bought tickets and planned to come. And so the organizer called me and said, you know, I've gotten these complaints and I don't want to disappoint your fans. So what if I bring you here and I'll rent you a conference room one day on Saturday at the hotel 1 block away from the convention hotel.
Right.
So that
oh, this is the hotel that they tried to pull shit on, and the hotel was like, fuck you. Yeah, you can't just do that.
fans that bought tickets can come to see you. And I
think
said,
I know which one this was.
yeah, I'm not even going to say, but the point is that he told me that he got complaints, and so but he didn't want to disappoint the fans that were coming to see me. So he set this up, and I did that one-day event, and we had a clicker at the door. 387 people came through from like noon to 7 p.m. And it was the most, I mean, like it was in every way, shape, and form, by every measure, a huge success.
Right.
A lot of
Vic, it doesn't matter if it doesn't affect the ticket sales of an event. If you're trying to make the argument that you want to put a monetary value on your allowance of how many people you're allowed to make uncomfortable and harass, then the ticket value, if the ticket value doesn't go down if you're not there, it doesn't really matter. It's a bad argument anyway.
people didn't even go to the convention. They took the train down to New York City for the signing, but they didn't go to the convention. And there weren't other vendors around. There weren't other voice actors. There were no panels. It was just a room. I got home after that event and I called the organizer.
And he cried.
And he said, "Hey, how'd the event go?" And I said, "Dude, it was off the charts. It was off the charts. We 387 people, and it was just great." And he said, "I'm so glad to hear that." And I said to him, "How many people complained?"
Out of three, you still got 5 complaints? Out of the number of people is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. He's down to 300 people and 5 people still complained. What? What? After meeting him, 5 people still complained? Or is he talking about the 5 people who complained that he was trying to pull off this bullshit event?
I'm not making this up.
Yeah.
5 people. Can you even conceive of that? 5 people who probably live in California and Idaho and, you know what I mean, and Detroit, and all, they're not going to go to his event. And even if they were, 5 people
Right.
on social media. And he
Do you have a citation for this, by the way?
sided there instead of the 387 people that wanted to come. I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
It continues to perplex me. I don't understand it either.
Because people's safety and personal boundaries and having a good reputation is worth more than its weight in gold. You dumb motherfuckers who only care about money and don't give a shit about the safety of the people around you. It's not complicated. The fact that you can't wrap your mind around this, even if you thought those people were wrong and did not believe that you were a threat to people, the fact that you can't even grasp the concept of if these people believe that, then this, then it tells me that you are in fact a danger. Because you can't even grasp the concept. And the fact that you can't grasp that concept alone is already a danger to people.
Because you look at the raw numbers and you look at how much even a convention ticket costs, and you say that's thousands of dollars that the business owner just turned down because 5 people on social media complained. And that,
you know, if you really wanted to be really business specific about it, think about all the vendors, Nick.
yes. Oh yeah, that's the thing.
All the vendors who come there to sell their products in the dealer's room, and you just took 387 people out of the room that might have bought stuff from them. Or how about
Reputation and safety is worth more than your 300 people and potential sales. Duh.
about the refreshments? Or how about the hotels that would rent rooms for the weekend? I mean,
Again, you're just making assumptions that 300 people didn't replace the 300 people that would have been there if you were there. You're making a very, very large assumption because the number of ticket sales to a convention are limited. So you're just assuming, just because you go there, it doesn't mean automatically 300 people are going to go. Or even more than that, because you still have a limited number of sales. So this is, literally not how any of this works, and is actually fucking stupid. You're dumb? You're dumb. This is incredibly dumb. It's almost like you're being reductive to the point of dishonesty. You're fucking stupid. Don't be mad that you're replaceable.
You know, if you want to make a political statement, fine. But if you want to run a business, you know what I mean?
Oh,
if
yeah.
you do something for business purposes, you know, I would love to.
I'm sorry, is Vic saying go woke, go broke? Because he's the one going broke right now.
I'd love to see more people make decisions for business.
If I was a vendor, I would have.
Excuse me, two Christian men, you want people to make decisions for greed and money as opposed to ethically considered safety of others? Were you not just talking about how you were good Christians who cared about people, and now it's businesses shouldn't care about people's safety because you can't understand it? Because what do you fucking have no grasp of other people or people?
Been furious that they did that, and like that would have been buddy, you're taking dollars out of my pockets. I paid for this table for you to bring people to the show.
Right.
What are you doing, turning people away? That, to me, that's too far.
What? Venues have size limitations. Good. You can't just, like, if you want to go, just go in. You can't just. Don't take business advice or legal advice from Nick Reiketa.
Caleb G says, Nick, it's been a while. Just finished recovering from back surgery. Love your shows. Got me through a very long 4 months of being bedridden. Same to you, Vic. Love your work. You're an inspiration on spreading positivity.
Oh, thank Caleb.
Spreading positivity? That's not what he'd been doing for the last chunk of his non-existent career.
Caleb, well, bless you, buddy, and
he has been actively spreading hate against women. He has actively been spreading hate against LGBTQ plus, specifically trans people, and he's been actively participating in racism in the last year and before this.
Hope you're back up and about quickly.
Yes. Mr. Armageddon says, I want to thank Nick and Ty for doing their part to stand up for Vic and fight for what is right. Most of all, thank you, Vic. You were the one who chose to stand up for yourself, and you did it with kindness, not hate.
That's just not true.
And a lawsuit, that helps too. But no, I really do think that the kindness thing has been such a hallmark of who you are. And it showed everybody very quickly who you were. And I think you have handled yourself very, very well. Like, that's from me to you.
Yeah, Nick Reiketa, the long-term Kiwi Farms lol cow, Nick Reiketa, is definitely being like, yeah, that's definitely not hate. You've definitely handled yourself really well, Nick Reiketa. Yeah, he's gonna be able to give you a really good objective. The person who has made so much money off of Vic Mignogna's name and stirring up this shit is definitely gonna have opinions about this that are definitely not biased, that he's gonna be able to assess that. Oh, okay. If Nick wore the Sonichu medallion, that's why you know to never trust him. That too.
You know what?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you for that. And Mr. Armageddon, thank you. Thank you.
Aztec.
Go ahead. Before you read Aztec here.
Yeah.
I want to say something else.
Hey, another non sequitur show rant. You know, when people say that you should just, like, get in they wronged you and they're like, oh, talk to me privately, oh, these people never talk to me privately, they don't know. That's basically just a dog whistle for, you didn't give me the opportunity to gaslight you into believing something that wasn't true. How dare you?
I don't want to hate people. I don't want to be angry at people. I don't want to be at odds with people. Even now, I wasn't planning on.
Doth the lady protest too much? Then stop fighting with everybody all the time and respect people's boundaries.
I'm saying this, Nick, but even now, if the people on the other side of this thing were to call me and say, look, this just got way out of hand. I you know, we could reach peace, and I would love that.
It's pretty amusing. You're the one who brought the lawsuit, dipshit. Side note, you notice how he only talked about what his agreement would have been with Funimation? He didn't talk about what his agreement would have been with Jamie or, like, Monica or Ron. What the fuck? Why are you the one who started this thing? You could have dropped your lawsuit at any fucking time. You could have dropped it at any fucking time. But no, you would rather try to weaponize the law to force people to have specific opinions about you. On the advice of Nick Reiketa, a YouTuber on the internet. Why are you making this everybody else's responsibility? Fuck off, you weirdo.
I don't want to be at odds with people. And it troubles me to think that people hate me or would be upset with me. That really troubles me. You may not know this. I'm a pretty insecure guy. Most actors are.
Oh, we can tell. We know.
You know, one of the reasons that people gravitate to the theater and to performance is because they're insecure, and they want the approval of somebody telling them they sing good.
Stop using the word they. You're talking about yourself and you're projecting it onto other actors and performers. You're talking about yourself. It's you believe this. You want this approval. You need this thing, not other people. Don't make that assumption. Assumptions are what got you in trouble in the first place.
Or they acted great, or that dance was wonderful, that performance was good. I'm a pretty insecure guy when it comes to those kind of things. I want people to like me and to be my friends. Even when it comes to girls, I want girls to like me. I would be so mortified if I were to go to kiss a girl and she went, "Whoa."
That explains everything. That explains everything. Thank you for just describing why you're a predator. Like, that's all you just did. Like, do I need to explain this? Alright. If a girl moved away from him, if he leaned into a kiss, he calls them girls, by the way, not women. Girls moved in for a kiss and they pulled away, he would be mortified at the idea of that rejection. What if I'm no good? What if they get out of here, kid? You got no future. McFly, hello. And that is why he uses his fan base as a dating pool, because he can't handle rejection, because he is a child. Because he's an insecure little man. He's got short man syndrome on top of it. He literally just explained to you out loud why he puts himself in a position of power and a lilted power dynamic so that it's less likely that these women or girls are in a position to tell him no. And whether he's doing it consciously or not is irrelevant because the result is still the same. So, how do you know that of these women wouldn't reject you if you weren't Vic Mignogna, the voice actor star? You don't. So what this actually does is it actually accidentally feeds in further into your insecurities. You're creating a negative feedback loop where girls are the victims, and you're explaining how and why you do it. For anybody who needs this, This clip is at 1 hour and 14 minutes. A little bit before that, because he just finished talking. So, like, you know, call it an hour and 12.
Because I'm just too insecure. I would make 99% sure, 0.999% sure that that was something she wanted as well. Because
no, you would do 0.99% sure that they would be not, you would use everything in your wheelhouse to ensure that they would not reject you. Which includes abusing your power. All you're worried about is about whether or not they'd say no, not whether or not they wanted it. Those are different things. Don't conflate those things. Those are different. Ensuring that somebody wants it involves a whole courting thing where you ensure that your position of power over the other person does not interfere with your relationship. But you don't do that. And we know you don't do that because you said you didn't do that in your deposition. And just now, how do you ensure that they're okay with it? In what way? How do you do that? You don't. You don't.
I'm not the kind of person to just be, real forceful like that. And so, my insecurities extend to even wanting just to get along with people and to be friends with people.
Being pathetic is a type of emotional manipulation. Or it can be. It doesn't have to be, but it can be. Being pathetic and how, oh, I'm so insecure. Oh man, it's like if it, like without your approval, like I'm just that's being pathetic. Being pathetic can be a form of emotional manipulation. So bleh. I wonder if the 99.99999% is just based on volume, like the 0.0001% is when he tried to force himself on twins or kept knocking at Kara Edwards' door, etc. Like he just picked up so many women that the 0.0001% is actually way bigger than you'd think. The fact that he would make 99.99999% sure means that there is a percentage that he's willing to not bother to check. And so it's important to notice that he is putting in a percentage to where that he's not bothering, like that he's going out of his way to impose that there is a gray space that he's allowed, this voided space that he's allowed to exist in where he doesn't have to. Like, no, you need to be 100% about fucking consent, my guy. Again, we're back to, well, if I sleep with 100,000 women and only fuck one goat, why does everybody call me a goat fucker? Like, it's the same thing. He's just repeating the same shit. It's just getting darker and darker and darker.
If there were a way to resolve this and just bury it and move forward, like,
yes, there is. Shut the fuck up. Stop. Stop it. Just stop. Just stop. Just don't was an option the whole time.
Decent human being.
I did say, like, when I was talking about this years ago while this was still going on, I was like, God, for fuck's sake, somebody who's following Vic, go to Vic and send him to me. I can tell him how to get out of this. Easily. It's not even hard. All it takes is shutting the fuck up. Good God. But he can't. His ego is too big. He seems to think, and people do this a lot, this isn't new, this isn't like exclusive to Vic Mignogna, that ego, having a big ego and being insecure are separate things. They aren't. Those are not, you can have a giant ego and be insecure at the same time, and in fact, they do tend to go together. They're not different things. Or they're not mutually exclusive, I should say.
Beings, I would be all for that.
Well, I hope they hear that. Like I hope they hear that.
Did that come out right? Did that come out right, Nick?
I think so.
I was literally shooting from the hip there. I didn't plan.
You think so? Do you? Okay.
To say that. But you know what? Even now, I think of Monica and what a friend.
Stop thinking of Monica. Leave her alone. Stop going on public platforms and talking about her. Leave her alone. This isn't hard. You're still violating the boundaries that have been set forward. Leave her alone. She is not interested. Stop thinking about her. Stop going and talking. If you catch yourself thinking about her, be like, oh, I shouldn't be thinking about her. Move on with your life. You are the one keeping you trapped here. You're explaining how you're the one doing this to yourself, and then you're making it everybody else's problem. Fucking stop. Jesus Christ. I'm not gonna punish you for thought crime, but I am gonna be like, why are you fucking talking about it on Nick Reiketa's live stream while you're still in court? Context matters. You fucking nutcase. You fucking weirdo. Good God, no wonder people called you a fucking sex pest. This is the worst one I've watched yet. I've watched like a good amount of Vic Mignogna, and I've watched him do interviews with people, and there's like, I've watched a bunch of clips and his own stuff. This is the worst performance where he's admitted to the most worst shit in this entire time I've watched him, except for maybe a couple clips in the deposition. Holy fucking shit. He's not drunk. He said this completely unprompted. Nobody asked him a question about this. He brought this up all on his own. He just went on a tangent and just like fucking shot that off. He just said, that's off the hip. I didn't think about this ahead of time. Yeah, no shit. Imagine thinking about things before you speak them into existence. Good God. I wish I had a bottle of wine, but I'm glad I don't. I'd already be done the first bottle.
I think of all the great experiences that we've shared and the shows that we've done and the events and all the laughter and encouragement. You guys, in November, before the attack in January.
And how do you think she feels about that? What if she did think that you guys were friends, and then you started being weird and harassy in her direction, and then she found out you were harassing a bunch of fucking other people before, and she didn't even know about it? And then, how do you think she felt about that? Do you think she felt betrayed by that friendship that you allegedly had, if that's even true? Have you considered that? No, you haven't, because you're not a friend. She wasn't your friend. Even if she thought she was your friend, you certainly don't. You don't treat her like she was a friend. And then you sent a bunch of people after her after you sexually harassed her at work. You fucking nut. And then you took her to court for her daring to say that she had this experience and daring to do the interviews and help, and as per her obligation to her workplace, comply with an investigation. And you sent an entire harassment campaign against her, all while claiming you're the victim, all while claiming you're not the one being violent, all while claiming you're the one seeking peace and grace and blah 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 blah. Darvo. This is classic Darvo. You abused her. Period. End of sentence. It was inappropriate, and you lost your job over it, but that wasn't good enough for you because your ego got in the way and your insecurities got in the way. Just like they have with every other relationship in your life. Just like they have with every other thing. That's why you fucking cheated on your wife. That's why you fucking cheated on people multiple times, because of this incessant need for this negative feedback loop to feed your fucking insecurities and your ego to feel like you fucking matter. Dude, if your God loves you so much and you are comfortable in that, why do you care? God loves you regardless. You don't practice what you preach. You don't even fucking try. It's just an excuse. This is why you feel entitled to other people's bodies. This is why you feel entitled to ignore other people's boundaries. Because you view their boundaries as a rejection. And you can't handle that because of your ego and because of your fucking insecurities. This is what you literally just explained to everybody on the internet, and you're taking it out on Monica because she rejected you. And then Funimation rejected you. Right when you thought you were gonna get this huge high off of Broly and it all just fucking crashed around you, and instead of having any sense of introspection whatsoever, you just lashed out at everybody around you and Darvo. If you do not know what Darvo is, please go and look it up. It'll be a really short read for you, I promise. And you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Because I don't want to just tell you the answer. Go and look at the answer for yourself. You will see what I'm saying. This is fucking ridiculous. And Nick's just sitting there. And people are like in the fucking side chat just fucking beefing this up, just jerking this guy off and his fucking delusions. This is nuts. This is insanity. This went on for years. Are you kidding? It's still going on. Fuck.
Monica and Ron and I were at a SuperCon, I think in Louisville, Kentucky, and they were at the table.
Shiny said, if I have gone back in time, I would warn Vic about this 5 years before the drama happened. It wouldn't help. It wouldn't help. He wouldn't listen. This is what this is insecure ego and zero self-reflection, and this is what it looks like. You would have to go back way further than 5 years. And even if you did, I don't think he would listen to you. It doesn't matter. He would still do the same thing. I think part of what he's doing is actually intuitive. Yeah, you have to go back 35 years. You'd probably have to go back to when he was, like, before he went to private school. Like, the one that was tied to Liberty University, you'd have to go back to when he was, like, going into junior high, like, before he was in junior high. You'd have to go back to, like, before Vic Mignogna was, like, a preteen, if you wanted him to be a different person.
Beside me, and I showed Monica a picture that I was looking to have made as a print for the new Broly.
Right.
And it was a lenticular thing where if you turned it one way, it was me, and you turned it the other way, it was Broly. And I showed it to Monica, and I asked her what she thought, and she's like, "That's awesome." And I said, "Yeah, but I'm afraid that people are going to make fun of it because, I'm kind of like, I don't have my shirt on. I'm trying to be all, Broly like." And you know what she said? She literally leaned into me. I can see it like it was yesterday. Our tables were next to each other, and she'd gotten up from her table, and I'd gotten up from mine, and we kind of met where the little skirt is separating the. And we were talking about this quietly, and she said, "You know what, Vic? F them." She said, "The best thing that ever happened to me, Vic, was when I decided that I don't give an F what people think. If people don't like it, F them." And this was in November of 2008.
Okay, so she wasn't a random dick to you and didn't make fun of you about your weird little project. Why are you making a big deal about a normal fucking conversation? She doesn't have to like you to give you fucking good advice. Yeah, why is he still obsessed with Monica? Why do you talk about her like this? You guys are seeing this, right? Like, this is fucking weird. What the fuck?
And then in December, 1 month later, was the Broly premiere in LA. And I don't know if.
Hey, you know what that interaction isn't? Sexual. You know what that interaction isn't? Her hitting on you or making advances to you at all. That is generally just decent fucking advice. What you did was inappropriate and sexualized. So this is the quintessential, this is the trope of man so starved for woman's attention, women is nice, like just generally polite to them, therefore they have feelings for me, therefore I can be weirdly sexual with them. Duh. This is so fucking stupid. He's got a great quote coming up pretty soon in this interview. Yes, there's multiple times where it seems like he has super deep feelings about Monica, yeah. Farah at one point tweeted that Vic instructed Farah to this is a woman he was dating that he was seeing while he was in a steady relationship with another woman. Farah to attack pretty much everybody except for Monica. Monica was strictly off limits. Yes, I saw those screenshots. I saw that conversation. Farah posted them on Twitter. I think I looked at them at one point on stream, but yeah, I remember that.
If you've seen the pictures, but we were all hugs and kissy faces, and
he's got a weird thing about Monica, and nobody's even noticing.
And it was, and less than a month later, this was all happening. I think so fondly of so many of these people, and when I hear the things that they've said, or
hey Vic, if you like Monica so much, why don't you just let it the fuck go? You can't, because she rejected you. That's why. This is ego. This is ego and insecurity. This woman I really like and respect said no to me, and now he's obsessed. He's obsessed with forcing her to deal with him because he can't handle her saying no. That's all this is. And he's going to use anything he can to do it. Who is she, Metz? Who is she? Because I feel like I'm in hell right now. Are you talking about me? Because that's what this feels like to me. I'm watching this and dealing with this dumb motherfucker. Good God.
People tell me what they've said or done. I'm heartbroken and shocked. And sure, there's anger. Of course, there would be. Some sense of betrayal.
I'm heartbroken and shocked because I love her and she doesn't feel the same way about me, so I'm going to use everything in my power to force. You're a joke. You're a fucking low dipshit tier anime villain in a fucking romance in a anime, Vic. That's all you are. You're a fucking weirdo that won't let this fucking poor woman go. Good God. Yeah, this is hell. We're in hell. Get me out.
Betrayal, but over.
I really hope there's an anime that comes out that parallels this situation, because I would love to fucking watch it. It would be very funny.
Watching all of that, it's this. Why can't we be friends?
Why can't we be friends? Why can't Monica just love me? Why would she reject me? Why can't see? What did I just tell you? She rejected him and he can't handle it. And so he took her to court. This is fucking so goddamn stupid. Good God.
Of betrayal, but overarching all of that, it's this. Why can't we be friends with each other? What? Mm-hmm. How could I have so
cry harder
this friendship for so many years? So even now, I wish there were some way to resolve.
Almost self-reflection. How could I have misjudged this? I don't know, Vic. Why don't you actually take that question seriously?
This and anyway.
No, thank you for sharing that story. I had not heard that ever, and it's just such a shocking contrast between what would happen, just a couple months later. And it's
no, it isn't. He said something, expressed insecurity, and Monica was nice to him and said something reasonable to him in a workplace capacity. And then he was weirdly sexual about her for some time. There's no contradictory here. There's nothing in Monica's behavior that indicates anything otherwise. You're just making that up because you're weirdo basement dweller men that are starved for women's attention and that you just abuse them and misrepresent and misunderstand anything a woman being not mean to you means they like you at all. This is ridiculous.
It's what has been so baffling about this thing. And I think that's what's drawn so many people to your story, is that it just doesn't make a lot of sense. It just doesn't it just doesn't add up for so many people. But for
it makes perfect sense. If you do not understand this, this is a you problem and you need to do some reading and educating.
me, the way I've rationalized it, the best I can figure is that there is this culture that has popped up, and that culture is bandwagon or bust. And so once something happens,
That's you. That's you! There's literally a guy in my chat right now calling Vic a hero after he was just creepy as fuck towards Monica, after we watched him admit to being a fucking weirdo power-abusing stalker. Like, he literally just said these things out loud, and there's one person in the chat being like, the Vic's a hero! Yeah, ride or die, I get, okay, weird hill to die on, but at least you're dead. Like, what are you doing? What are you talking about? Hi, Twitwit.
some trigger point happens, people feel like they have to latch onto it, or else they'll be caught in its wake. And it's
you're right. This is some real yandere shit. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I think that it would be beneficial for Monica. After watching this, I would not be surprised to hear about Monica filing a restraining order on Vic Mignogna. Like, that wouldn't surprise me. Like, I think that would make perfect sense for her to do so. I'm not telling her she should or should not. Don't take advice from people on the internet about lawsuits. I just wouldn't be surprised, and it would make complete sense to me if she did, because this is some, like, creepy shit. This is like, I'm gonna stab you at, like, if I can't have her, no one will. I tied it to the train tracks, Ron. Like, this is fucking ridiculous. Unbelievable. Thank you. I use him to scream into every so often.
I think that's one of the scariest things to me, because that encourages the mob rather than tames it down.
Well, I just want to say that
you would know.
If I had any clue whatsoever that these people despised me, or that they had some serious issues with me, I would have, most people who know me, know that I would have been over backwards to try to, you know what I mean, to try to repair it, or to be a better person.
But they did, and you didn't. You were told to leave them alone, and you wouldn't. You reached out to them privately. You didn't handle the rejection. The thing that would have made it right with them was for you to be like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, and then leave them the fuck alone and stop arguing about why you should be allowed to touch girls. You fucking weirdo. Good god. Yeah, did bending over backwards include suing them? Yeah, apparently. Making it right would have been be a better person regardless of whether they acknowledge you or not. Idiot. You'd have to understand, deflecting and obfuscating and poisoning the well and starting harassment groups and engaging with people like Nick Reiketa who are fanning the flames. What are you talking about?
I'm incredibly sorry. I never wanted any of this.
Why did you appeal then, you fucking jackass? You're such a fucking liar. Look at him fake cry.
And even now, I don't wish, I don't want any of these people to get, hit by a train or wish ill will on them. People write me all the time and say, wouldn't it be great if such and such happened to so and so? And I'm like, no.
So you get, like, tons of toxic mail. You get toxic mail about your fans' breakups, say your fans are your friends, and then you get venting emails where they talk people in your... Why are people sending you messages like these? You ever think that maybe it's because you're instigating them, Vic? Did you ever think that you've been instigating them, and so they are sending you these messages thinking that you are going to approve of them. There's disconnect there, maybe you think. I don't know.
No,
that wouldn't be great. I don't want that for anybody. I mean, I know there are people out there that, that say all kinds of hateful.
Yeah, he's blaming everybody but his own decision to do this thing. It's their fault. It's the fans' fault. It's Nick Reiketa's fault. No, you made the decision. I can say that your fan base didn't do you any favors, but you instigated them. You chose to go to court.
Things about wanting to see me, dead or killed or hung or whatever, burn in hell or whatever. I don't feel that way for anybody on the planet Earth. Even the people that have that may feel that way about me or that are on the other side of this equation.
People who have feelings about disliking you are valid. They're allowed to feel that way. We don't do thought crime here. So if you think that you want something bad to happen to somebody, you can think that. I'm not gonna shit on you for it. Maybe don't speak it into existence. Maybe don't wish it, like, actively start being like, I hope you fucking get hit by a car and go and harass people with that. But if you just have an opinion where you dislike somebody and you're like, nah, I wouldn't care if that person died, that's just thought crime. You're allowed to have feelings. Your feelings are valid. That doesn't mean you should act upon them and start taking and speaking these things out into space, but you're allowed to have feelings. It's okay. He is not sincere. No, he is not.
yeah.
I don't even think, I think the whole point of their
You can just stop it. I don't even think.
plan was to ruin my career, was to kind of chase me out of the industry. Because if you
don't think that? That's your entire lawsuit. What? Hold on. Did I mishear that? Hold on. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't even think, I think the whole point of their plan was to ruin my career, was to kind of chase me out of the industry. Because if you look at the affidavits, Nick,
mm-hmm.
He doesn't even think, he does think, he doesn't think, he does think. A little bit unclear, but I'm going to be charitable and assume that you think that they intended on chasing you out of the industry. Bro, there was an internal HR investigation against you. Bruh.
look at the affidavits that they submitted to support their stories. What I mean by that is this. So there are these stories that I was somehow sexual misconduct or some kind of a rough assault or something, right? I think that's the stories in a nutshell.
So you don't even know? So you don't. Hold on. Hold on. Give me one. I'll be back in 1 second. Good God. Fuck. God damn it. okay, let me get this straight. He doesn't even know what the accusations are that he's suing for defamation over, like what these stories are. But also he acknowledged already that the stories existed and he knew about them long before Ron and Monica were dating. So which is it? You fucking dishonest piece of shit. You even admitted to some of them in your own deposition, like with the twins. And the jelly bean. Like, he's admitted to that one. He admitted to touching people that were underage by kissing them on the cheek and on the forehead and hugging them that they didn't want. Like, what do you mean? You're well into this lawsuit and you don't fucking know? You don't, what? Again, we're back to Nick Reiketa saying, like, what is he even being accused of? Oh, that's a really hard question. Is it? It shouldn't be. Good fucking God.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can someone explain to me how some woman at a convention filing an affidavit that I was difficult to work with at a convention, what does that have to do with the story?
If they are... It has to do with proving actual malice in your defamation case. The core component of your legal case. What do you mean? Are you real? Is this real life? Is he kidding? One of the things that you're fighting against is this tortious interference and this defamation. The tortious interference and defamation is related to that you were difficult to work with and problematic at conventions. So getting somebody who worked at a fucking convention to say that, yeah, you were difficult to work with means that there is no actual malice because they had reason to believe and hold these opinions, because actual malice requires either things to not be true and there to be disregard or intention, but, like, what it was true. Huh? What? That wasn't the only thing anybody submitted in their affidavits. No, of course it wasn't. The affidavit list is surprisingly long. But, like, yeah, he's mad. These conventions people stated he was hard to work with, and they saw and heard about him being weird with women and girls. Both of those things were in those affidavits at the same time. Correct, yes. He's not very bright. No, he is not. Like, you just... What does he mean? What does he mean? What is it? Please tell me. You got... Alright, guys, vote. Vote. 1 in the chat. 1 or 2 in the chat. 69 and 420 will be counted as, ones. 1 in the chat if you think Nick Reiketa is going to explain to him his own lawsuit to him. Like, is going to explain actual malice and why that would be relevant. 1 in the chat if you think that Nick Reiketa is actually going to do his fucking job. 2 if you think no. 2 if no. 2, he's not gonna say anything. Good God, you don't even know what your fucking lawsuit is about, you fucking bonobo. Oh my God. How does anybody believe this man? How does anybody believe any of these people? What in the fuck? Alright, let's see if Nick explains.
What does the fact that I was...
He said nothing! Oh yeah? Oh really, Nick? Nothing? The core component of the lawsuit and proving it or disproving it isn't relevant to his lawsuit? Has nothing to do with it? Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Me how some woman at a convention filing an affidavit that I
I like how he says some woman. What if it was a dude? Would you be more inclined to believe it if a man said it? Why do you say some woman like that? Your tonality and language is tattling on you.
I think that's the stories in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Can someone explain to me how some woman at a convention filing an affidavit that I was difficult to work with at a convention, what does that have to do with the story?
Nothing.
What does the fact that
Hey, Nick Reiketa, nothing. Yes, I can explain that to you. I am also not a lawyer. I also know some other people who have a little bit more expertise than I do that could also probably explain it to you. You're a fucking idiot.
was that I was unfaithful to the girl that I was seeing? What does that have to do with the story? Nothing. What does the fact
The girl you were seeing? Not the past one that you mentioned before, the wife that you cheated on before that you're divorced from. This new one? Admitting that you were sexually explicit and engaging in sexual activity consistently at these conventions, that depending on how you look at the contracts and depending on what the conventions might not want you there doing that, I don't know why that would matter. Besides demonstrating a pattern of behavior and that you use your fan base as a dating pool, which is inappropriate. It's because of that insecurity and ego and that power dynamic that you're trying to take advantage of because you can't handle rejection that we talked about earlier.
fact that I expressed interest in somebody at a convention and they said, no, I'm not interested, and that was the end of it. What does that have to do with the story? So many of their
You mean the twins? Yeah, Manya makes a good point. If it was not relevant or relative, then it was your lawyer's job to make the case and stop those from coming in. Exactly. That was on Ty Beard to deal with that. Objection relevance. And then they have to build the foundation. Like, as difficult and as complicated and complex as law can be, there are some things that are pretty fucking straightforward. I don't know if he's talking about the twins or if he's talking about somebody else at this point. He's just mad. He's just mad that other people were like, yeah, he's a piece of shit.
Their affidavits have zero to do with the story. I'm surprised they didn't have an affidavit
I don't know which story he's even referring to.
from somebody that said, I saw Vic Mignogna driving 75 in a 26 zone.
Well, I
saw Vic Mignogna speeding. I mean, like it seemed like they were looking for anybody who just had something bad to say. Let's hear it. You know,
Yeah, that's how it works when you're building a case against somebody. Of course they're going to reach out to people who don't like you or saw you doing wrong things, and then they're going to use whatever they believe is appropriate, and then it's your lawyer's job to get it removed or not get it removed. Or whatever, it's your job to fight it. What do you mean? You're the one who brought this to court. Apparently you were completely unprepared and didn't even know what you were filing.
So many of them had nothing to do with the stories that were being alleged.
You being a dick at conventions was definitely related. You being inappropriate with women and girls was definitely related. It's trying to claim that they're not related to the story, whatever the story is nonsense. And yes, establishing a pattern of behavior is relevant.
To be fair, I did send them that affidavit, but they didn't accept it.
Well, fortunately, they don't carry you in high regard. Fortunately, they opened it and they said, oh, Nick Reiketa.
Yeah. It's like, there was gold in there. I swear I clocked him. I got it on radar with a picture.
He was doing 76 in the 50. I saw it.
All right. Aztec.
Disregard for the law and the safety of other people? I don't know.
0523 says.
Right. And now we're back to Aztec. He thought we forgot about him.
Yeah.
He's like, he was this close to reading it.
It's gonna happen. It was gonna happen. No. Like I said, all of them will get read, but
Mark, welcome back from your lurk. Very good point. Stop doing stuff that can be used against you later, maybe, Vic. We're back to shut the fuck up and stop shitting on your own case.
But no, I again, thank you for sharing this stuff. I think that's the part. That's we've got two things going on. You're filling in.
Oh, good God. Sorry, I'm reading you're going to see it pop up on the stream in a second here. There's a super chat that's in orange by Max Grift that says, honestly, Vic, hearing you still mourn the friendships you had with these people who clearly tried to push you into the darkest time of your life, it makes them irredeemable and evil to me. But because they said no to him and his weird sexual behavior, what the fuck is wrong with you? Good God.
The gaps in the story, you know, how you've been weathering through this, how this impacted you. But the other thing
what gaps? I thought you said that these things were irrelevant. Now there's gaps?
You're sharing with all of these people the same questions. Like, this stuff doesn't make sense. This doesn't look like it just doesn't look valid. It looks like a character assassination, and that doesn't jive in people's minds. Like, why?
Because it's a preponderance of the evidence. Because it's a defamation case. You put them in a legal position where they had to demonstrate to a court of law that their opinions were justified and not actual malice. And now you're mad that they did that. What are you talking about? You put them in that position. Vic Mignogna did when he fucking filed all this shit. Are you for real? Why is the court showing a pattern of behavior? I don't know, Mr. Lawyer. Why would the opposing side show a pattern of behavior that would justify his client's opinions in a defamation case? Or can you not handle that because the guy's got damage to his vocal cords, you jackass? Good God.
Why did this happen? And that's a question that we may never get a definitive answer on. The people who did it may not even know. Like, in reality, they may.
Yeah, I think it's a good point that Tom just pointed out that I want to jump on here and add in, because I think that's a good thing to note, is that there were about 24 claims in total. One attorney on Twitter said that a complaint attorney could have gotten one past a TCPA, but none of the claims would have been able to survive a summary judgment. Well, and the fact that none of them got through and all of them were fucking dismissed at all, like in totality, should fucking tell you something about this fucking case. And the fact that they kept going on streams claiming they didn't have a case in the first place. Good God.
Not fully grasp why they chose this route.
There are several prevailing theories that answer the big question, why. I've heard all of them, and some of them resonate pretty strongly. There are several, legitimate, several theories that seem quite plausible to me. And I am, I feel such.
I'm assuming none of those theories have to do with you being a problematic person. That you keep admitting to doing all this problematic behavior and actually you're the problem. Because it can't be that, right? Can't be that.
I feel such remorse and shame for the mistakes that I've made, like in my relationship.
Then you would stop. And you don't. You keep cheating on people. This is why you going around and having a bunch of sex with people while you were cheating on somebody would be relevant to the story. Because it justifies the opinion that you are a sex pest, which is one of the defamatory claims you put in front of the judge. You dumbass.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, I don't want to wax religious here, but during the last 10 years, I drifted away from a consistent daily practice of my faith And in doing so, I kind of allowed my guard to drop.
You're a serial cheater, and you're the one that admittedly approached these women, not the other way around, meaning you didn't let your guard drop, you fucking pursued them. God, you're such an asshole.
And I made poor choices. I'll sit right here and admit that, because I did. But I never did anything to these people to deserve what has happened. And
what happened? The only thing that happened was there was an internal investigation in which you were behaving inappropriately in a work setting and that you got fired. So what did they do to you? And that investigation informed their opinions. So now these people that you were supposedly friends with had shitty opinions about you, they expressed that they had shitty opinions about you, and tried to move on with their life. But you couldn't handle that. They didn't do anything to you. You did shit to other people, and you don't like that your behavior informs people's opinions about you in a negative way. That's it. It's really that straightforward. You are the problem. You cannot accept the responsibility or accountability or even take ownership of the actions you claim that you even took. This is insanity.
so don't anyone think that I'm not playing any victim here at all. And I
What? That's a lie. That's 100% a lie. Because now if you're saying you're not a victim of defamation, you're just shitting on your own fucking case again. If you're not a victim of them lying about you to remove you from the industry, you literally just explained a couple of minutes ago that they had a conspiracy to get you removed from the anime industry. And now you're sitting here being like, well, I'm not the victim of this conspiracy that I just put forward. What the fuck? Nick Reiketa described it as character assassination, but you're not a victim though? What do you mean? Have your cake and eat it too? Define it, Vic. Define playing the victim. What would it look like? And then try to define it in a way that isn't your behavior. Good luck. You will fail.
I really care deeply for these people that I've been friends with for years. It's really, really heartbreaking that it has come to what it has.
I would like to point out that he is saying this, and when he was describing Monica earlier and their quote-unquote friendship and how weird he's being about this stream is 3 years ago, from 2021. This is after the lawsuits and everything had already been going on for about 2 years. So he's still not over it.
Yeah. And no, I fully agree. It's gone way farther than it ever should have.
Oh, really, Nick? Really? And you didn't have a hand in that at all, did it? No. No. You fucking asshole.
This is something that should have been dealt with either as friends or as professionals. It should have been dealt with behind closed doors, but some people did not want that for whatever reasons they may have had.
Yeah, if any of these people really had any
blaming the victims. That's, like I said, Darvo, look it up. The reason I'm not explaining it is because I want you to draw the conclusions on your own. You go find Darvo and you let me know if you think that looks like Darvo to you.
Any kind of concern or care about something that was misread or misunderstood or out of line, you go to that person, somebody that you've worked with and been.
That's contextual. It depends. It's not always appropriate for you to go to the person. That's what HR is for. That's what conflict resolution and mediation is for. You do not always go to the person to get it resolved, because sometimes things can't be resolved that way, and sometimes it's not safe for you to even try. And some women in particular, if some dude is being inappropriate towards you, are not comfortable and it's not safe for you to do so. You guys fucking suck. Your body, my choice.
Friends with for 5, 10, 15 years, and you talk about it. You
Right.
don't.
But you already admitted that you misunderstood your friendship. So then what's the issue? That's not her fault, that's your fault.
Don't gang up in a little mob and literally plan an organized assault.
Bitch, where? I didn't mean to hit that shit. Where were we? Fuck, hold on, let me look. 150. Oh. Wait, hold on. I lost where we were. Oh, God. Let me see. 126. Okay. I almost got it right back. My bad. Sorry. Let me put that back. Oh, that's going to take forever. Hold on. 29, 30, 27. Here we go. Right here. Oh, yeah. He's not the victim of this organized assault, though, right? He's not the victim? Remember? You're making accusations. Now, this is defamation. They could countersue you if they wanted to. Clearly, they don't, because if they were going to, they would have done so already. So everything that you're asking for, everything that you say that you're doing, it's actually them. They're the ones being graceful about this. They're the ones trying to let it go. They're the ones not filing frivolous lawsuits, even if they did have a case, which they might. You might be able to go through all of Vic Mignogna's fucking statements in the last 5 years and find enough to file a defamation claim and show that it caused reasonable emotional and financial distress. At least definitely harassment.
In doing so, I kind of allowed my guard to drop, and I never did anything to these people.
It's gone way farther than it ever been dealt with behind closed.
Concern or care about something that was misread or misunderstood or out of line. You go to that person, somebody that you've worked with and been friends with for 5, 10, 15 years.
No, you don't necessarily do that. It's contextual.
And you talk about it. You
Right.
don't gang up in a little mob and literally plan an organized assault.
Literally plan an organized assault. He's not being hyperbolic. He said literally.
No, I agree. Unfortunately, that's where people are today. And I think as soon as we get past this phase in society, we'll start to maybe get a little bit less of the vitriol we've been seeing.
When you say we get over this in society, you mean literally we, like as in you, because you're the ones doing that? You didn't like people's opinions, and you went to court and made a whole hate campaign about it.
Building over the past several years. Okay, back to poor Aztec. Aztec 05.
Is he still here?
Aztec 0523 says, screw it. $20 is worth it to hear Vic yell Margras from one of my favorite games, Project Sylphid, Arc of Deception, if he remembers it.
Oh my gosh.
That's an old game.
Now I know why we delayed taking your question.
He doesn't remember it. If you guys can't tell, he doesn't remember. Watch his face. He's reading out the name of the game. He has no indication of recognition. He just responds after it's over. He doesn't remember.
Margras from one of my favorite games, Project Sylphid, Arc of Deception, if he remembers it.
Oh my gosh.
He doesn't remember. And you'll notice he doesn't say, oh my gosh, I remember that. He just says, oh my gosh, I see why we skipped this. That right. He doesn't remember.
That's an old game.
Now I know why we delayed taking your question.
Do you remember?
Can I tell you? Okay, listen. Oh my gosh.
Do you remember? Look at him. Oh my god. Listen, no. He doesn't remember.
I remember the name of that game.
Yeah.
I remember nothing about. Wait, are you able to ask him? Aztec, was that Katana Faraway? Is that the character that I played in that video game?
Does anybody in the chat know who he played in the video game? Was it Katana Faraway, you said, or Farway?
Faraway, as in a
there's like a 20
See, he doesn't remember.
20-second delay.
It's okay to not remember, but the fact that he's got to do this song and dance to try to keep up appearances is fucking ridiculous.
For the chat to answer, for them to hear the question. So
okay.
I'm just waiting. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I haven't completely lost my mind. I can't believe I remembered that. I don't remember I remember the character's name clearly. I can't even believe I did that. I don't remember what I had for lunch yesterday, but
then why did you act like and pretend that you remembered the game? Just say, "Oh, I don't remember that. What character that?" Like you had to fake it all the way up to that point. It's cool that you did end up remembering, but why did you fucking play this game all the way in?
But I'm sorry to say, Aztec. And by the way, I love the Aztecs because when I was in high school, the literary fraternity that I was in was the Aztecs. I was in the Aztec Warriors. So love you, Aztec. Best question ever. No, I don't remember that. I don't remember any specifics of the lines or the character, but I do remember his name. I hope that gets some brownie points.
Just pick a random.
See?
Random voice, and no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
To be fair, Vic does not have a whole ton of voice differentiation, so if you just gave him a line and he said it, he'd probably be pretty accurate.
That would be
worse. Sorry, Aztec. Slagless says, Nick, show him how it's done. Oh, man. So my chat sometimes has me say things in Kermit the Frog voice.
Ah, okay.
Jordan Peterson incoming.
I want to read this one right now, but well, these are the rules. So here we go. Hi there, Jamie Markey. Let's move on from this mess. How about a drink? You're not thirsty? Well, I'll drink some first then. And what if I let you drink it from my mouth? Oh, then you drink. Oh, come on.
Oh, I see what they're doing. Okay,
it's Kermit doing Oren. Yeah.
There it is.
Warhawk.
That's a pretty good Kermit, though.
Oh, thanks. Hopefully no one asked me to.
Yeah, probably should have just done that after Vic was gone instead of making him look worse.
Impersonate you. Hey, Nick and Vic. First time being super grifted. Love the show. We love and support you, Vic, despite the questionable pants. Hope to see you in Ohio soon.
What is it with the pants?
Welcome to the.
Yeah, I guess Vic doesn't like that a lot, like particularly on that side of the internet. Like people kind of think he comes off as gay. Oh, sorry. I have no opinion one way or another. I don't particularly give a shit. It would be kind of hypocritical, but no, that's not unusual for this kind of shit. His fans know it's a grift. They think he's kidding. They think he's kidding that it's a grift. He's not.
The meme culture. Blaine20 says, pour one out for John McAfee. May he rest in peace. Yeah, the news of his passing, very, very alarming. And, I don't think we'll get any details about it. Alexander Maxwell says, first time super chat, longtime fan of both of y'all. If you ask me, Vic, the fact that your fans have supported you in your lawsuit is proof of God giving back to you for all you've done in his name. Stay strong. God bless.
Well,
sorry, Nick was accused of spreading that rumor behind the scenes. The pants, about his pants being gay? That rumor, or that Vic is gay?
Well, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. I do want to, if I may, Nick.
Yes, of course.
I think I've lived long enough to learn not to.
No, you have not.
Not to be so certain of, this is God doing the, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about myself. and I've grown a lot. As you can imagine, from a situation like this,
Right.
I've learned, who
You have not learned any of the things that you were supposed to learn.
really cares about you and who doesn't.
Nope.
I've learned.
Yes, people who encourage you to do shitty behavior that's harmful to yourself and to others is not people who care about you, but strike one, keep going.
Who really cares about you and who doesn't. I've learned that there are some people who are friends of yours when it benefits them to be so.
That's strike two on the same point.
And I've also learned who really does care. And
that is strike three, and you just said the same thing 3 times. You didn't learn shit. Unbelievable. I learned who's really your friend and who isn't really there and who doesn't really care about you. I learned he just said both of those things in one and then repeated them individually and called it 3 things. You're out. Yep. Oh, good glory.
And God has been faithful, and he has blessed me with so many.
I mean, sure, God's been faithful. You're the person who isn't faithful. you're the what is it, Adam, or not Adam, Abraham and Isaac. And Abraham, God's like, hey, Abraham, take Isaac to the top of the mountain and kill him and sacrifice him for me. And Abraham went, okay, and takes his son up, and God sends an angel and be like, no, you failed the test. Vic, God was testing you, you failed the test, you've learned nothing. Good God. It was a big deal making fun of his pants since the mid-2000s. You can find threads of people mocking his pants on 4chan and live journals from years ago. I know, that doesn't surprise me.
Wonderful people that have been encouraging, and I am incredibly grateful for that.
Yellow Flash 2. This question is very serious. It says, Vic, which series do you prefer, the original Full Metal Alchemist or Brotherhood?
Oh my gosh, look at the time. I got to run. You know what? I've been asked this question a lot, Yellow Flash, and I'm going to tell you the answer is this. I know most people like Brotherhood. Most people like Brotherhood best. And Brotherhood's great. The best part about Brotherhood's having an ending is that it has an ending. I mean, the best part is that it actually has a closure to the story. However, Yellow Flash, I have a very, very special place in my heart for the original. It's kind of like my first experience with Full Metal Alchemist was so impactful to me. I loved that show and those characters.
Were they your friends? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. Is Edward Elric in the room with you right now? This is so dumb. I'm gonna jump ahead. I kind of don't want to jump ahead just because I think he's gonna say something really fucking stupid.
And the story and the music, I loved everything about the first Full Metal. I was so bummed out when it was done. And I was so excited when I heard there was going to be another series. And then I was so worried that it wouldn't be as good as the first series. And then I was glad that it was so good and followed the manga. But again, just like that high school, your first high school crush, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You'll go on to love other people and have other relationships, but you will always remember there'll be a special place in your heart. No other show. I had probably done 50 or 60 anime.
I told you he was going to say something stupid. And he just kept... Okay. Go on.
Series by the time I did Full Metal Alchemist, and none of them had ever hit me the way that one did. So I'm going to have to say that I have a very special place in my heart.
He's not going to say how or in what way. He's just LARPing. This isn't real. For anybody who's watching this and thinking that he had some kind of like experience and connection with these characters, no, he didn't. He's not. Notice he's not giving. He's being specifically vague. He's not giving anything here. He doesn't. He's kind of like just going through the motions. This is a script of what you would expect somebody who had an emotional attachment to their characters to say. Like, go and listen. Go ask this question to any of, like, for example, like the Critical Role players, right? Ask them about how they felt about playing Vox Machina on the table versus playing Vox Machina voice acting, and if they have a preference, and listen to them and how they talk about those characters and that connection that they had in portraying those characters, and how that might shift and be different from one to the other. None of those details that you'll notice that'll come from those types of interviews are coming from Vic Mignogna. He's just LARPing. He's just saying what people want, or what he thinks people want him to say. He's not actually giving his real opinion, because his real opinion is that he doesn't care. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about Full Metal Alchemist. He doesn't care about Edward Elric. He doesn't care about Brotherhood. He cared that he had a job that gave him a good career for a while. That's why he's so upset that he doesn't have a career anymore, because he measured his personal value off of the fan bases of those shows and of that career, instead of having any personal value to himself. What's worse, a weeb or a fake weeb? Like, he's literally just copying and mirroring what you would expect somebody who has a connection to a character that they've played in the past. There's one on the tip of my tongue that I'm thinking of, where somebody was playing a character for... listen to Hugh Jackman talk about playing Wolverine across the different series, and, like, talk about Logan and bringing him back for Deadpool. That'll tell you a lot.
Heart for the original.
I tried to watch him, but I didn't like the voice of that blonde kid.
Oh, yeah.
SSJ Mark says, first time seeing both of you together.
Pants. Oh, my. The pants.
First time seeing both of you together since having shots at Kitchener Comic-Con dinner party.
Oh, my goodness.
Wished I was there. Hey, Vic, long time no see, buddy. Just wanted to say keep being awesome, drinking my last beer for you guys.
And who was that? What was
SSJ Mark.
Well, SSJ, thank you, buddy. It was nice seeing you in Kitchener. Hopefully
he's friends with all these people, but he doesn't remember who any of them are.
We're going to get back up there again sometime soon. Be great to see you again. Thank you for that.
James Karg says, dang, really wish I wasn't working so late. Like,
so Christina V doesn't have a special connection to playing Ladybug / Marionette from Miraculous? I don't know, she might. It's not like voice actors can't have connections to their characters. It's Vic who doesn't have a connection to Edward Elric in the way he is pretending that he does. He might still have some kind of connection to him, just not the one he's describing. Like I said, my first example was voice actors.
Likely to miss the first half of the interview. Really hope Vic's still okay and this nightmare for him starts improving soon. Can't imagine how hard it's been staying positive.
It did not.
Throughout this whole debacle.
Thank you, James. Thank you.
The Taito Guardian says, Vic and Nick too. We met at Matsuri 2019. I hope you're...
Joseph, you really got to work on your you like apples, why do you hate oranges way of conversing with people.
You're doing well. I'm still rooting for you. Keep your head up and stay strong. Love you, man. Vic or Nick, you're awesome too, lol.
Lol. Hey, Nick, are you coming to not the other not
the Taito Guardian?
Taito Guardian. Is he coming to Matsuri? Hopefully he's coming to Matsuri this year.
I hope everybody's coming to Matsuri. I think the whole chat should show up.
I sure hope so too. It's going to be quite a great event.
Towers Comics says, hi, Vic. Star Trek Continues was so thoughtful and well written.
Is Vic friends with Anime Matsuri? Not the show, not the runners, not the people who run those things. The I mean, the convention itself. Is there an anime personification of Anime Namatsuri that is friends with Vic Mignogna?
Okay, now we're talking. All right, now the chat can get serious.
Oh my goodness!
Now the clock can start running. Now everything before this was just prologue.
Way better than Discovery or Picard. I wish there was more of it. I love your work.
And who was that?
Now it's Towers Comics.
Towers.
I play in a Star Trek TTRPG. For anybody who likes TTRPGs and likes some fun people, I'm playing Star Trek on Friday on a show called Top Hats Off.
Thank you so much. I love you. You are clearly a person of great taste. And no, listen, anybody that mentions Star Trek, and especially my web series, Star Trek Continues, I'm so grateful for. I'm so proud of everybody that worked on that series and what we accomplished. And so anytime I hear that, I get kind of.
And what those people need to do is
tell them, Nick, because you did it.
Oh my God, was that Bearing that I just saw in the chat? Oh my God, it was. I haven't seen this name in forever. Holy. Good God. Sorry. That was a moment for me.
I did. You got to make the pilgrimage to Kingsland, Georgia after summer. You want to wait till, I think they open up what?
By the way, yeah, Bearing is saying they support Vic Mignogna.
September again?
Yes, I think as soon as the starts cooling down, September, October, we're going to start these weekend.
Yeah, Tom Riddle got it. Bearing, back to 2016 with you all. Bearing is a YouTuber from like a long time ago. I don't know what they do now. I haven't checked in on a really, really long time, but oh, good God. Oh, he's still around? Really? I haven't seen anything from Bearing in a really, really long time. Bearing, like a bear, like bear in the woods.
Is what we call them. And we open the studio for people to walk through, and it's free and it's fun and it's like stepping into a dream. I mean, it's like a childhood dream to walk through the original sets from the original Star Trek series where we shot our series, and 30 or 40 other fan productions have shot there in the time since.
Yeah, it was awesome. When I went, I got to see like Darth Vader's cabin, and I got to see
the Emperor's bathtub.
Yes. No, it's great. It's great. It's a wonderful recreation of the Star Trek set. It's what you guys use for Star Trek Continues, and it's a really cool thing to see. Definitely recommend it.
And it's easy to get to.
Yeah.
I should get Dapper to come on with me and watch an episode of Star Trek Continues, and so we can riff on it, because I bet it's shitty.
You're flying to Jacksonville, Florida, major airport in Florida, and then you drive 25 minutes up I-95, the main interstate, right up to Kingsland, Georgia. It's a great little town. Love it. Come join us.
Yeah, definitely.
Shameless plug, neutralzonestudios.com. www.neutralzonestudios.com. Those are the guys that own it and administrate it now. Be watching there for signups for the tours once they start back up in the fall. And I always go down there and give the tours. So if you want to see me really nerd out, you should come.
It's embarrassing. I will say it's a great thing, and the Neutral Zone people are phenomenal. Just really a fun experience. I strongly recommend it. And I'm not even that big of a Star Trek fan, so like I'm
dressed as a stormtrooper. Nobody clearly didn't get the message, and we were all going like,
I'm a heathen because I just like the movies pretty much. I'm like, oh, that series is too much work.
Baby, you can let.
Yeah, that's a good point, Twitwit. Listen to the difference in Vic's tone when he's being sincere. He cares about Star Trek. He likes at least he cares about his series. His Star Trek Continues. He's passionate about it. He cares about it. He gives details about it. He doesn't do that with fucking the Full Metal Alchemist or anything like that. The tonality difference. He's leaned forward. He cares. He's passionate about this.
live and let live.
The gray one says, evening, gentlemen. I hope you've been well. Vic, it has been a long road, but please keep your head up high. I looked up to you since I was a kid watching Full Metal Alchemist. You kept me going when all felt lost, no matter how bad things got. Words can't cover my thanks for everything you did.
Did Vic keep you going, or did the show that was a collective works that involved Vic Mignogna keep you going? This is like like the toxic cult of personality shit, where it's like you take how you feel about a collective work and you impose that feeling into an individual that has a forward-facing persona that you then project that they are the individual that made you feel better. Listen, if a show or a movie or an anime that featured Vic Mignogna helped you through a hard time, you do not have to like give that is not, you don't have to like give that to Vic. You don't have to like say that like it was him that did that for you. It was you. You're the one who got through it. You're the one who had an outlet. There was an outlet that existed. Vic's not the one responsible for that. You don't have to give him the credit for that. And like, even if you do, and now all this shitty stuff has come out and it makes you feel bad about like getting through these hard times with this good thing or this thing that was a good influence on your life, those good things that happened are still valid. The way you felt and how you went through that are still valid. You do not have to tie your advancement as a human to an individual. I said the same thing when people were fucking talking about Jimmy Snow all those years ago. Their involvement is tertiary to what you did and what you were able to interpret and garner from whatever project he happened to be a part of. That's coincidence, not intentional. You don't have to tie that credit to him being a good or a bad person.
Thank you, Gray One. God bless you. Thank you for that.
C4 Own says, hey, Vic.
It's funny because 98% of the other people involved with Star Trek Continues had to release a statement saying they no longer want to associate with Vic. Of course. It's almost like he's a PR nightmare or something and a liability.
Is it the pants that give you strength? Love you, man, and keep it up.
Apparently. Maybe that's why everyone hates them so much. Because they can feel that power.
Oh God.
I don't know. I don't know.
I think it is. I think I'm
not wearing them now, so clearly I have no power now.
You are wearing some form of pant, I hope.
I'm wearing some jean shorts.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, good.
The concept I was talking about was compartmentalization.
I was just thinking the tendrils on the pants like draw power from the earth around them. You know?
Okay, I only have a couple of pairs that have tendrils.
You have any pairs that have tendrils? That's too many.
They're not tendrils. They're mooring cables.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
They keep me from falling out of my chair and stuff.
They're rigging lines. That's how the sails come out. I Am Pinhead says, not a coincidence that I landed my first engineering job from an interview I had the night after seeing Broly. Thanks, Vic.
Oh, dude, congratulations. That's great.
Nope, that's the definition of a coincidence, but okay.
Axelion. Okay, you probably should just avoid this question. It's a question for Vic. Balls.
Is that legal advice, Nick?
Or no balls? Ty, I see you in chat. Don't tell him not to answer. I'll say you can just safely skip that one.
Wait, I don't know. I don't even know what that means.
Why would you do this? Why would you ask about this?
Because you're like, I don't even know what that means, but forget it. Go ahead. Let's keep going.
Because I can explain it to you if you want.
No. I think my mom would probably get mad at me.
You get mad at you, she'd get mad at me.
No, she would be like, why did you have to ask him about that?
No,
Oh, so Vic Mignogna's mom also doesn't have Vic Mignogna taking responsibility for his own actions and blames other people. It would be Nick's fault for asking him the question, not Vic Mignogna's fault for answering the question. Color me unsurprised that Vic is a mama's boy who doesn't. They didn't tell us what the question was. I don't know what the question was. It was in one of the super chats, presumably, but I don't know which one it would be. Because they're just reading them out way after the fact, so I'm not sure. But the fact that Vic Mignogna just told us that he's a mommy's boy who can do no wrong fits pretty in line with exactly what we'd expect.
But we're gonna keep this man's purity intact. Blaine20 says, "Happy Vic. It's great to see you. Thank you for being here tonight. May you have a blessed year. I look forward to any projects you might be working on, if any. I hope to visit the bridge next year."
Oh, great. We'll look forward to seeing you there. Thank you so much.
Doge says, "Hey, Nick and Vic, wish y'all the best."
Implying that Vic is going to be there as a selling point for this Star Trek set is kind of bizarre.
I look forward to watching this on the archive. Also, my wife took a pregnancy test and it came back positive.
Congratulations. God bless you guys.
Yes, great. Be a dad. Have fun with it. Austin Wright says, "Much love and support to you, Vic. Hope you're doing well and keep being awesome. I love your voice work as Crow and Broly so much, and I hope I can meet you at a con one day soon. Also, can we get a Kakarot for the chat?"
Well, Austin, we're not going to get a Kakarot, all right? Let me tell you something, kiddo. He's drinking.
Oh man, it really is hard to do this voice acting thing. Vic Mignogna's just such a great voice actor, you know what I mean?
Vodka right now.
This is Propel.
That is vodka because I know vodka, all right? Crow Bronwyn can recognize alcohol 3 miles away.
What happened to the grit?
It's a documented, it's science. It's a documented fact. So, Austin, you're a good kid. And thank you so much. No Kakarots, but a lot of Crow love for you.
Imagine drinking vodka unironically. Toyman99X says, "Hey, Nick. Hello, brother Vic. I hope to be able to see both of you at Anime Matsuri and have a couple of drinks. Love you, brother Vic."
Toyman!
Wolfwood said, "I wonder how his mother feels about all the crap her son has done." It's everyone else's fault. He just explained that. She would blame everybody except for her son's actions.
Niku Yasha says, "Vic, keep holding on to the good that you have. I think a lot of people here you have been a big part in our lives. Personally, I grew up watching DBZ and Full Metal Alchemist, and I'll always appreciate the work you put into those characters. Stay strong."
Thank you, man. Thank you so much. It's so weird when people say you're my childhood. And I'm like, how can I be your childhood? You know, how's that even possible? And I'm, again, you know, I use this word a lot and I don't, because
this is reminding me so much of like Kyle being like, you can't smash the like button, you can only gently tap it. Like, what do you mean? What do people mean? You don't know the idiom? You don't know that phrase? You know what?
Because I can't think of a better word. Humbled.
Yeah.
I'm just so humbled.
You don't know what that word means.
That I stumbled into this career, which back then wasn't a career, but just stumbled into this voice acting thing because I liked acting and I thought it would be fun. Never imagined it would go anywhere. And to know that this many years later, you know, people have all these childhood memories of things that I did. It's very humbling. It's very humbling.
I'm trying to see who this chat is from, and it's not showing me the name because of YouTube being dumb. Just a second. Let me do this real quick. Did that work? Nope. How obnoxious. How obnoxious. I'll have to find that one in a little bit. Adafos says, "Hey, Vic, saw you had to reschedule Cowtown Con. Super sad. I was going to wear my Bucky cosplay and show it to you, but can't wait to see you again. Let's hang out like last time. Cody."
Okay, can I just say something? I don't know where Cody lives, but this weekend, Cody, this weekend, as in day after tomorrow, I'm heading to Wichita Falls Comic-Con, which is about an hour and a half from Dallas. Cowtown Comic-Con is in Dallas. So if you're in the area or any of your audience is in the area, Nick, this coming weekend, I'll be a guest at the Wichita Falls Comic-Con. So come see me.
Wichita Falls, Texas.
That's correct.
Okay.
He has so much humble.
We've got here I found it. Ethan Matthews says, "Hey Vic, I love you and all your work. Your performance at the end of Brotherhood always brings me to tears. You radiate a loving energy that not a lot of people have. I hope I can see you at a convention in North Carolina soon."
If I was a mother and I had a child and my child was a grown adult and they didn't know how to handle their own shit online or in real life, I would have felt like I would failed as a parent because I am extremely good at this. And if my child could not handle or couldn't deal with this stuff, it would mean that I taught them nothing. And I have failed as a parent.
Oh, thank you for that. I hope so too, man. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Slices Lemon says, "First super chat, wanted to say thanks to Monica for uniting us against her. I was pushed here for daring to ask questions, but here I have..."
Look at their fucking face. I was pushed here for daring to... I was just asking questions. Look at their faces. Like, why are you reading these out? Why wouldn't you... Guys. I need to inform you of this little fancy tool that all YouTubers have in their YouTube studio. You can block words. If you didn't want the dumpster fire of talking about Monica, even though you've already talked about her in the weirdest, creepiest way ever, you could have blocked her name. And so this wouldn't have come up. You absolute fucking... What is wrong? I don't even have a word.
Have found new friends and hobbies regardless. We have won. Oh, Nick, why are games...
I was gonna say monkey. Boosted bonobo. Unga bunga, you absolute hairless apes. What are you doing?
Workshop minis so expensive? They very much are, but I think you were talking earlier about it's not about being against anybody.
No. And you know what?
Yes, it is. You literally filed lawsuits about this.
You guys don't be mean to Monica.
No, don't be mean to anybody.
Why does he always look like he's gonna cry every time he talks about Monica? Why is he so fucking weird?
You know, there are a lot of things that go on in the world that we don't know why.
You literally just sent a shitload of people after Chris Sabat because you just accused him of backstabbing you and calling you a pedophile while he was hanging out with you smoking cigars and fucking playing mini putt. Like, shut the fuck up. The long silence, right? Like, we all know Nick Reiketa was harassing people. We all know Yellow Flash was harassing people. We all know that, we've already gone over it in the other videos. So go and check it out. Yeah, insert creepy music. Like, what do you mean? What do you fucking mean?
Not about being against for daring to ask. Slices Lemon says, "First super chat, wanted to say thanks to Monica for uniting us against her."
Even Reiketa paused. Like, look at them.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
Slices Lemon says, "First super chat, wanted to say thanks to Monica for uniting us against her. I was pushed here for daring to ask questions, but here I..."
Look at Vic's face. He's like acts like has a very physical, visceral reaction to somebody saying something negative about Monica.
Says first super chat, wanted to say thanks to Monica for uniting us against her. I was pushed here for daring to ask questions, but here I have found new friends and hobbies. Regardless, we have won. Oh, Nick, why are Games Workshop minis so expensive? They very much are, but I think you were talking earlier about it's not about being against anybody.
No. And you know what?
I urge you to go watch my first video talking about Nick Reiketa's first video about this. Not the stream, the video.
You guys don't be mean to Monica.
No.
Yeah, the body language of that reaction was something that he didn't want to hear. He closed his eyes, didn't want to see it. That was pulled back. That was a big physical reaction.
You guys don't be mean to Monica.
Has anybody clipped out all of Reiketa talking shit about Monica and put it to this? Like, don't be mean to Monica. It's not about being mean or going after anybody. Blah, blah, blah. Like, has anybody done that? Because that would be very funny.
No, don't be mean to anybody.
Again, I remind you, this video was streamed June 24th of 2021. This is after 2 years of ongoing harassment campaign. Vic is also enabling the harassment and encouraging the harassment. It's not just Nick. Vic is doing this too. I recommend watching my video about plausible deniability, about how Vic whips his fan base into a frenzy. It says how all these awful things are happening to him, and then says, "But don't go after anybody."
You know, there are a lot of things that go on in the world that we don't know why. There are things going on in people's lives, and we don't know what's going on. You hear a story or you see just the outside of something, and you may not.
He's doing platitudes again.
Know the pain or the loss or the sadness or the trouble or the challenges that are behind the scenes. I certainly am heartbroken.
Why shouldn't people who support you go after Monica after you accused her of doing all this shit, of like literally creating a takedown cabal? Like, what was the word that he used? He said something specific. God, what did he say? He said, oh, what did he say? There was a specific words that he used. What did he say? What did he call it? Fuck, I forget. He said something specific. He said that to try to get him kicked out of the industry. He said it was like, he called them a gang, but he also called fuck, I already forgot what he said. Damn it.
By what has happened and what some of these people have chosen to do. But as many of you have pointed out in your messages, be positive, you guys. There's more than enough hate in the world to go around.
Yeah, it was he said mob, but he said they were specifically it started with an I. I can't remember.
Way too much. So I want to encourage you guys, don't hate Monica, don't hate
There's
Jamie.
a verb.
Don't hate Ron, don't hate. Just try to be kind.
Despite all these reasons that I'm giving you to hate them, and if you care about me and they've harmed and all the bad things that they've done to me, you shouldn't hate them though. Despite me fucking creating this fucking problem.
You know what? Do you remember? Are you old enough
Yes.
Nick, to remember your parents saying, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
That is Nick Reiketa's entire fucking channel, Vic. Are you new?
That is a phrase, a saying that is probably centuries old. If you don't have something nice to say, just don't say anything at all. Well, you know what the new phrase is? If you don't have anything nice to say, let's hear it. I mean, literally, people have turned the idea of just, if you don't like somebody, just leave it alone. Don't go out of your way to hurt somebody because you don't like them or to say something negative. Some of these people, I'm not even going to tell you who. I'm looking at his name right here on my list. I mentioned him earlier. Every time
You mean Chris? You mean Chris? Is that who you're talking about?
I've been around him, he talks bad about another voice actor. And I guess I should have known, if he talks bad about that guy, he probably talks bad about me, right?
So now you've got on a whole nother slew of unsubstantiated claims. What happened to if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. And now you're doing it. You do the things you accuse other people of doing. It's called Darvo. It's called projection. Idiot. God, you can't sit there and claim to be on a moral high ground saying that these people are just doing all this shit and then turn around and do it.
Don't be those kind of people. Just try your best, everybody, to be kind to people.
You literally just made unsubstantiated accusations about Chris Sabat, both earlier and again just now, and then immediately turned around and told people not to do the thing you literally just did. When you do the thing, it means you're telling your audience that it is okay to do that thing. Because that means that the behavior is acceptable, because you're expressing that behavior. So when you're expressing that behavior, it means that that's acceptable to you. And the thing is Vic only complains about stuff against him.
And if you can't be kind to them, then leave them alone.
Then why are you in court, asshole?
That's what I've always, contrary to
shut the fuck up, Nick, you fucking dumbass.
Popular belief, by the way. Now, I have certain opinions about the actions some people have taken. I've voiced them, obviously, over the past couple years. And a lot of people don't like those opinions. That's okay. But one thing I have
Oh, yeah? People are allowed to have their opinions? All right.
Consistently said and told people is, don't go out
about another voice actor.
What the fuck? I don't know what that was.
And I guess I should have known, if he talks bad about that guy, he probably talks bad about me, right? Don't about tell you who. Just leave it alone. Don't go on. I've been around to
popular voice that don't go after anybody. Said and told people is, don't go after anybody.
This is a lie.
Don't. Actually, I've said, if you still like their performances, if you still like who they are, go support them. Go.
If you've been watching the chat that's been showing here at all, it is constantly like, oh, it's Sabat. Vic is the bigger man. The hell with Monica. There's like Monica a liar. There's like all kinds of like awful shit that's been going on in the fucking chat. Like, if I were to search the chat for Monica's name... Yeah.
Go to their tables. Go see them at cons. Just because, you might disagree with an action someone takes, that doesn't mean you should try and remove them or send them any negativity.
Depends on the action. It's based on context. Context matters.
Or anything like that. And I've always said,
Are we suggesting that just because somebody mass shot up a different convention, they should be invited to the next convention? Or does what somebody does matter? It's like actions have consequences and they don't exist in a bubble.
About seeing anybody, even even the people who are not in the lawsuit, right? These weird ancillary people who are out there who had so much to say. Don't bother them. Don't go.
The chat says, just boycott those backstabbing fuckers.
Don't go trying to talk to them. Don't go trying to spread anger and resentment. Now, I have consistently said that.
They don't like their fans. Sabat needs to get good scrub. They did Vic so dirty they can't forgive that man. Nobody goes to their tables because they aren't likable.
For over 2.5 years, but I get labeled as saying the opposite, and that just comes with...
Because you say the opposite. You lying fuck. SG going for the Idiot of the Year award.
With the territory of talking about things in general, but
in fact, I would even add to that, and I'm sure you've said this before, Nick, they want attention.
They do.
Sorry, I can't even stand to hear Monica's voice anymore. Anytime I hear it in an anime, it makes my skin crawl. It's why I canceled my funny sub. Like Funimation. What did she do? She did nothing. You just bought into bullshit. Who wants attention, Vic? It's you. You already explained in this video on this live stream that you are obsessed with obtaining people's attention. And you're just projecting that on everybody else. Not everybody is like you. Good God.
Comes with the territory of talking about things in general, but
in fact, I would even add to that, and I'm sure you've said this before, Nick, they want attention.
They do.
That's what they're looking for.
Yep.
There is somebody whose name I'm not going to mention, but if you Googled his name, you know what the first thing is that comes up? His attacks against me. Mm-hmm. Wow.
I'm not going to say their name. I'm just going to give you enough information to make sure that you know exactly who I'm talking about. So what? If I Google Mars Girl's name, Nick Reiketa is going to come up as him making attacks against her. And Tug, and Yellow Flash, and Vic Mignogna. So what does that say about you? What's your point, you fucking hypocrite? They did nothing to you. Nothing. Zero. And what happens is something gets repeated enough and people start believing it and gets dragged and pulled out of proportion, as I have shown already on prior streams. On the other hand, you now also have these big blowout fucking situations where people who are not familiar with what's going on play this middle card where they're like, well, I mean, she must have done something. No. She doesn't have to have done anything. We gotta get rid of that as like a normal reaction in society because it's not normative. It's not. They did nothing. Monica did nothing. Jamie did nothing. Ron did nothing. Funimation did nothing. Funimation actually did the thing that a company is actually supposed to do for once. Mars Girl did nothing. These are all the consequences of Vic Mignogna's behavior up until this point. They did fucking nothing. Them talking about and acknowledging the facts of the matter that these things were going on is not a fault of theirs. That is not them doing something wrong. Fucking pay attention, for fuck's sakes. God, this shit drives me crazy. People just believe things. Like, skepticism is dead.
Wow. You must be so proud of what you've accomplished in your life. That
Actually, Farah did a lot on behalf of on behalf of Vic, and she came out and apologized for it and took ownership of it and tried to do things to make it right, which is what you're supposed to do, which is why people don't give her a hard time now. If she didn't and just was a dick about it, then she'd probably be getting more attention, because that's the kind of doubling down on being a stupid jackass gets you attention.
That is literally the first thing that comes up. You know what I mean? How pathetic is that? These people are desperate for attention. You know what, you guys? We have so deified the idea of celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody.
That's you. You're the one with your little extra fan club, you fucking weirdo. I don't see a single other fucking voice actor that's got a fan club like Vic Mignogna does. If there's one that exists, show me. I'd love to see the context around that.
Everybody wants to be famous, or they think they do. Or to some degree, they want to be known, or they want to be noticed, or they want to feel like they have some power over some little thing.
That's you when you encourage your fans to send you personal information about them that you are then giving them advice about. That's you. Vic, that is you. You're complaining about the thing you are doing, but pointing fingers saying, "Nuh-uh, everybody else is doing that. It's not me." That's you.
That they mean something in some way. And some of them want it so bad that they will do or say anything to get it.
Mm-hmm.
So the worst thing you could ever do for these people is engage them. Because that's.
Then why are you doing this stream? Then why did you engage in fighting with these people and sending your fan base after them, even after you lost in court multiple times? What are you doing? That's you still doing the thing.
That's what they want. They just want to know that they've been noticed, they got your attention, and now they're just.
I would like to remind you all that we watched when we were talking about what had happened with Nick Reiketa and his lawsuit when I was on with Manya, talking about it on one of the Dumbfuck Fridays. There was a guy who was talking about a convention where Nick Reiketa's fans treated him like he was a god, and that was a good thing to aspire to. That was something that we covered. That was something that we've talked about. That's something that we looked at. That is wholly unacceptable. The person that Vic Mignogna is describing right now, besides himself, is Nick Reiketa.
Just, working and just enjoying all of that attention that they're getting. They don't even care how.
Show me where Martinez and Nicki Minaj have a Discord server fan base that they are interacting with, where they use their fan base for things like fucking the direct one-to-one interaction for like PR and stuff. That's not true. You can have a fan base and not be the same kind of fan base that Vic Mignogna has. You can have, I'm sure there's a Matt Mercer fan base that exists where they all hang out and talk about how much they love Matt Mercer. But you know who's not in that Discord? Matt Mercer.
How they get it. So don't.
Oh, which clip did you send me? Sorry. I don't see it. Which one?
Don't indulge them by giving it to them.
I agree. I agree with you there.
Yeah. Why don't you create something?
Oh, yes. You were the one that sent us that clip to look at. That's right, you did.
Yeah.
Here's a novel idea. Why don't you take all of this negative energy and all of this time
you literally talk shit about Ron at the beginning of this.
You spend talking garbage about people you don't like, and why don't you build something?
Yeah, Vic. Why don't you do that? Is it because you're a failure and you can't? Because you're incompetent and you got lucky?
A novel idea. Why don't you create something? Why don't you write something? Why don't you channel that energy into something productive that could actually.
Hi. Hello, it's me. This is something productive. Why is this something productive? Because we're actually going through and talking about the emotional argumentation that's being used here and why it's not appropriate. We are breaking down this pile of hate that you guys created, and we are pulling back this pile of bullshit and finding the actual truth of the matter and how to analyze what's actually happening and what's actually going on, despite you guys throwing shit on the walls like fucking toddlers and fucking spaghetti all over the place and fucking just building an entire platform made on hating people. That's what we're doing here. This is actually productive. People can actually learn from these things and take what I'm saying here and apply it to other places. The things that I'm saying here are universal, or are you can extrapolate from them, or you can take them and apply them somewhere else. They don't only apply to Vic Mignogna. They don't only apply to Nick Reiketa. They apply to lots of different things. You can take these terms and these concepts and take them to other places.
We bring something of quality to the world.
Oh my God, you're so welcome.
Crazy idea?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I guess.
Green Bullet Production says, "Hey Vic, I found out about this after seeing the Broly movie. Seeing how you've handled it, I know now that you really do have a heart made full metal. That quote from your character applies to you."
Thank you, man.
Fucking lol.
And thank you. I struggle like everybody else does. I know I sound like a broken record when I keep bringing that up, but I want you guys to know that, you know, we all struggle with a lot of the same things. The only difference is that some people get a freaking spotlight shown on
Don't meet your heroes and maybe get better heroes.
them while other people remain in the dark. But you know, we're all humans. We're all a mixed bag, you know, of good and bad, fear.
Let me just address something from Joseph real quick, saying, Mickey Minaj fandom, trust the barbs are toxic. A fandom can be toxic, but that is not necessarily Nicki Minaj's fault, right? So, like, Vic's fan base is toxic because he built it that way, right? He had a very direct hand in building his audience. So, like, for example, if I say, the My Hero Academia, I'm just picking an example. My Hero Academia fan base is toxic and caustic and crazy and are, like, very problematic. That is not the fault of the creators and runners of My Hero Academia. Now, if there were a handful of those creators that built a fan base off of who they were, and that is toxic and related to the My Hero Academia fandom, there's some nuance there. With Vic Mignogna, he has a very direct and intentional building of his fan base, and so they're toxic because he made it that way. He built that's very, very direct. Whereas if there is a fan base for, like, somebody who's not participating and doesn't behave in this way, a fandom can become toxic regardless, right? This is so cringy and weird. It's a circle jerk of the two of them propping up each other's crappy behavior. Yes, correct.
I've done a lot of things in my life out of fear, just because I'm afraid. I'm afraid to lose this person, or I'm afraid this person's not going to like me, or I'm afraid this person's going to misunderstand me. I'm afraid this is, you know, we're all the same. At the end of the day, we're all the same. And it would be great if that brought us together. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to very often.
X says,
and whose fault is that? Why don't you complete the thought? Why don't you complete the concept? Is it because you're the bad guy in this scenario?
just want to hear Rackets try to pronounce Edward Elric in front of Vic. I kept calling him Edwin at the beginning of all this.
How many Edwins do you know, Nick?
Too many.
You know people.
That literally doesn't make any sense. It's an anime, and so, like, the names that may or may not be commonplace are irrelevant, so that's stupid, but I'm moving on. Stupid, but not important.
People named Edwin?
Yes.
You know who I know is Edwin?
Plus
the Gold Store, Edwin Watts. That's the only Edwin I know.
Plus, it's anime.
Are you friends with the golf store, Vic? I like how Nick Reiketa is about to make the point I just made about how stupid what he just said was.
So those, you know how anime is. That's a bunch of weirdos, right? Edwin would be a name. It just would.
But it's Edward.
In seriousness,
now I'm going to call him Edwin Elric, the Full
Yeah.
Metal Alchemist.
In seriousness, much love to you both. I'm sure it's not a fight you guys wanted, but can't overstate what an important fight it's been. Stay
Thank
strong.
you. I suppose you think.
So is it important that you lost? You keep saying that this is an important fight and it really mattered. Okay, so you lost, so what's the importance of the loss? If it's important, it would be important that you lost, right? Or if you win. So what's important in the loss that you took? Tell Elmo.
His brother's name is Alfred, too.
Albert, actually.
Edwin and Alfred, right?
He's a hey. He's Fat Albert, right? Isn't that him?
Fat Al. Yeah.
Of course we're getting a Bill Cosby reference. Why wouldn't we be getting a Bill Cosby reference? Oh, contextually awful, by the way.
Yes.
His brother is a lot larger than him, I think.
Yes, but he's made of metal, so.
Well, we all have metal in our hearts. Olron1 says, Nick.
He's literally not. That's part of the whole point of the show, but okay.
Nick has style, all right, but Vic definitely has the better pants. Samantha Schoner, that's just discriminatory. Samantha Schoner says,
I'm going to buy more pants tomorrow. I'm going to go somewhere and find the absolute weirdest pants I can find, and I'm getting them.
Wear them to Matsuri.
You know what?
Trick question. I already knew you were going to.
Nick, everybody, if you weren't planning to come to Matsuri, you have to now, because you know why? This is breaking news right here, Nick. I have a new pair of pants, and I am waiting to wear them at Matsuri. I have a new pair of pants and a new pair of shoes, and literally I've been waiting to wear them for my.
You joke, Joseph, but one of the things that got Nick Reiketa popular was him vying and talking about positively of Kyle Rittenhouse.
Matsuri.
So. Does each leg have its own wedding train?
And again, I will remind you that this entire issue that Vic Mignogna and Nick Reiketa have is only for women telling them no. That's their whole shtick, is hating women. I don't know how to be more clear about this.
No comment.
Samantha Schoner says, hi, Vic. I'm glad you decided to come on the show today. I've been praying for you these last 2 years.
Oh, thank you, Samantha. Thank you.
I hope things will start to get better for you soon. Whatever you decide to do next, you have my support. God bless.
God bless you. Thank you for that.
Wolfgang Deo says, hey, Vic, when I was leaving the military, my chain of command falsely accused me of espionage and anti-government protesting. The one true thing was that I yelled at my instructor. Served for 9 years.
Oh, my goodness.
Drax says, just wanted to say to Vic, I wish I could have seen you in Utah a few weeks ago to thank you for the advice you gave me as a Christian trying to be a voice actor. Thanks so much, Vic, for being so...
No, sorry. Your joke was fine. I was adding on to it. Sorry, I wasn't trying to chastise you. Your joke was fine. I apologize if it came if that came across like that. That was not my intention. Reiketa went from internet drama to Vic to Rittenhouse and then to Depp/Heard and then to Baldo. Yeah.
Peaceful and loving, and thank you, Nick, for helping him. Wow.
Thank you, Drax. Sorry I missed you, buddy, but you know what? I love Salt Lake.
Whoops. Remember the video we watched yesterday that was later, like after this video, where Nick Reiketa said that he wasn't involved, but people are thanking him for helping Vic, and he acknowledges that he's been helping Vic? Whoops. It's almost like these people are lying liars who lie.
City, the kindest people out there, and sooner or later I'm gonna get back out there to
I'm sorry, I just noticed there's somebody in the chat named Andrew Tate's genital warts, and it's WORTS. It's funny. Gross.
People out there, and sooner or later I'm gonna get back out there to some events out there, so you come see me, Drax. Okay?
No, he is not.
Steve Jackman says, after learning about your situation, I wish I hadn't gotten out of your line at a con a few years ago when I thought you were Michael Dudikoff. Would have been a bit awkward to ask you to sign a copy of American Ninja, though.
But I would have done it. I would have done it. I can forge Michael Dudikoff's name, I think. probably.
I don't even know how to spell it.
I don't.
God, I
Yeah,
love
but
those movies,
Well,
though.
that's the beauty of signatures. You just do this, and what's that? You don't even know what that is. It's like a scribble.
Man, I watched all those as a kid when he'd have his bag, a duffel bag, and he'd be wearing street clothes and he'd jump into a hole and jump out immediately. He's in a ninja suit. I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. Like, now I look at it, I'm like, that's not cool. He just changed clothes. He didn't do anything.
The magic of childhood.
Simon Taylor says, for missing out on seeing Vic at Bubba Fest, just a friendly reminder that no one was a better voice fit for Kensei Ma. Always,
Oh, wow.
always great to see Vic made it through and seems.
I'd be curious to go through this and like count up the super chats just to see how much money was made after like the YouTube 30% cut. And I wonder if Vic got any of it.
To be doing well. Love and gratitude from Tennessee.
Thank you for that. Kensei Ma, that was Kenichi was the name of that show. And Kensei was a rather perverted old man who liked to take photos.
See what I
You're a perverted old man who's fucking like keeps trying to fucking be weird about Monica. Stop it. Yeah. Cut it out.
said?
Good
It's
God.
Japan. The anime is a weird thing.
Okay, but Kensei, that's like a Japanese name, not Edwin.
Edward isn't a Japanese name either. Neither is Colonel Mustang, but alright.
I don't speak Japanese. Matthew Harder says, oh my God, Nick, if Vic got a few candelabras and a sparkly jacket, he could cosplay as Liberace. Almost looks and sounds like Liberace.
What?
I can. There you go. I don't know. Maybe you should try it.
Thanks so much for the message.
I mentioned this a long time ago, Joseph, actually. Why did he play perverts? Vic Mignogna played a lot of characters who were blonde and had weird issues with women and or anger issues. Those are like, he quintessentially got cast in basically both those two things. That like characters who had boundary issues had a tendency to be blonde and also had a tendency to have like just weird issues with women and anger problems. Those are like the three main character traits that the majority of the characters he plays actually have. Go look at the IMDb list. It will blow your mind.
For the message.
Ants would help. Kiyotomi Chiyutinichi says,
Wow.
hey, and Nick, one more run ought to have those dice workable. Then on to ties. Hi, Ty. And hi, Vic. Miss getting to see you at cons. Thank you for being the awesome light God chose to put in so many of our lives. Keep shining.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Enigma
Apparently your god hates you if this is the fucking example he's setting.
the Basement
In my life. Thank you for that.
Enigma the Basement Troll says, Locktar, Vic, got some Blizzard / World of Warcraft related questions. Did they bring you back as Ner'zhul for the next Shadowlands patch? Also, thoughts on them replacing Quentin Flynn as Kael'thas Sunstrider due to his own Me Too issues?
They have not. If there is more Ner'zhul, I'm not doing it. And I don't know much about Quentin's situation. Anytime I've ever been around Quentin, good guy.
I love it when men who don't know anything about the scenarios of other men just make the assumption to speak on it anyway and talk about how great they are. Brilliant. Good idea. Keep it up. Makes you look great.
I'm for anybody that has to go through something like this. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Tom Riddle said it. I said this before, but if I was still a Christian, I would consider this entire thing a satanic inversion of the Christian message. Yeah, I agree with that.
Sika Loather says, to Vic, I am yellow, short, and was told I can do a good Indian accent. How do I sign up to be a voice actor? Also,
oh my goodness.
Also,
Are you want to be a voice actor in India?
I guess this is a weird chat. It says also, can
getting
you get
trolled.
Edward Elric to say I love the kill stream and Ethan Ralph? Do you know who Ethan Ralph is? Cheers from Inner Mongolia. That's from Mongolia.
Wow.
So.
I certainly wish you the best with voice acting. I will give you this one little tidbit of encouragement. It's cool that you can do an accent, and I'm not really great at accents, but it's really cool when people are really good at accents. But voice acting is not about accents. It's not even about making a funny voice. It's about acting.
Right.
It's about playing a character honestly and authentically and being able to communicate the emotions of that character through your voice. So while doing the accent stuff is really cool, look for opportunities to focus and develop your skills as an actor. Okay.
Good advice. William Smith says, I loved your Star Trek series, especially the episode guest starring John Delancey.
Number 9. What chips are for? I love you.
Belongs...
When you said this is from William, I thought you were going to say Shatner.
Yes. Well, no, I call him Bill.
You do.
This is
William, thank you. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He said it belongs in the Hall of Fame of Great Trek.
For anybody who doesn't know, William Shatner only lets his friends call him Bill, and also had to tell Vic Mignogna to fucking stop using him and his name to try to sell their Star Trek Continues thing.
Trek episodes. Done. Do you think John Delancey is a balls or no balls guy? You can ignore that part.
I know what that means, and I'm not going to even go there. But William, thank you so much. You know what ships are for. I love. That's one of my favorites. I love that episode. Kipley Brown, who played Smith in our series, wrote the script to a story that James Kerwin and I came up with, and she contributed to the story as well. And I just love that episode. I don't know that you know. Have you seen our series, Nick?
I didn't watch all of it. I watched several episodes, but again,
okay, so the answer is no. So that was the what we call the black and white episode.
Vic Mignogna chastising for Nick Reiketa for giving a bloviated, long-winded answer that wasn't even bloviated or long-winded to a yes or no is hilariously ironic for this stream.
It was our 9th episode.
Okay.
It was actually the last one we shot, and wonderful episode. Thank you so much, William.
William Shatner is a little bit cantankerous. He's old.
William, thank you.
Yeah, no, I did not watch that one. You
should, because it's one of the best. Number 9.
Well, I will have to then.
Well,
I'm sure Lady Raggets will make me watch it at some point anyway.
Well.
The gray one says, I won't be able to stay the whole time, but Vic, please remember, no matter what happens, we got your back, Full Metal. Maybe if the stars align, I can catch you at a convention I can get to. Stay safe, Vic and Nick.
They definitively did not have his back, and people definitively have not really had Reiketa's back either.
I hope so, gray one.
Last Rights 0 says... Okay, he says, Duck Flag Gang says, Fuda freaks need intelligence data. Meet me in Legends so I can purify your souls in Davy Jones's locker. Hello, Mr. Mignogna. God bless and all the best. I don't know what any of that actually means.
Okay, there were so many impressive elements about that. First, what the guy wrote. I'm still trying to unpack that. And then you doing...
Do we need to sit here and have a discussion about what futa is?
The Kermit voice just took it over the top. It's kind of, that just, crazy.
It's a weird thing.
I don't know what any of it meant either, but it was very impactful. It's powerful.
A stream of... This is from Pokemon's Master, says...
It's Pokemon, not man.
I'm reading the name that they actually put down.
Does it say M-A-N?
It's P-O-K-E with an accent aigu, M-A-N-Z.
Oh my gosh. Really?
So it's Pokemon's Master.
Oh my gosh. Okay, can I just pause you real quick and tell you?
Of course.
That you can always tell when somebody's not a real fan when they say, yeah, you know about Pokemon? It's not Pokemon, it's Pokemon. It's short for Pocket Monsters. So it's
Incorrect.
Pokemon. So when anyone says Pokemon, they don't really know what they're talking about.
Or they do know what they're talking about because the intro of that show at the very beginning of it, it was mispronounced by the voice actors in the show.
So Pokemon's Master says, a stream over 2 years in the making. Hello, Vic. Would like to see you appear at Sci-Fi Valley-Con at some point. Also, Rackets is forever late and boomer. That's true.
Where is Pokemon's Master? Is that the name?
Yeah.
Where is Sci-Fi? Where is that con? I would love to come. You guys, all of you guys, can I say this real quick? Any of you that have an event near you, you and your friends write the events and, and encourage them to bring me as a guest. I mean, that's really kind of the only best and proper, courteous, way to do it. I'm not looking to cause any trouble, but hopefully these organizers listen.
Call to action. He's asking his fan base to bother fucking. When he said he never did anything to anybody and doesn't ask his fan base for anything, here he is asking his fan base to intervene on his behalf to conventions to allow him to be there.
Listen to the voices of the people that actually buy tickets to their shows and let them know that you.
And anybody who doesn't agree with him isn't a real fan and doesn't actually, he's gatekeeping.
Like to have me. I would love to see all of you guys somewhere.
And there is literally nothing.
Then set up your own convention, loser.
Proper with respectfully following the suggestions of the con for guest suggestions.
Yeah, that was a full-on plausible deniability. Well, I'm not looking to start any trouble, but you guys go and reach out to those things. That's instigating them to cause trouble.
Just
Absolutely.
always be respectful and polite. And, and if they do it, great. And if they don't, that's a business decision that they make as well. So
absolutely.
Death Rider 889 says balls or no balls.
Are we back to this question?
It might show up more. Callahan says, Vic, I first heard you as Ed in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood just after getting everything below my large intestine removed. The energy you brought to Ed with his handicaps helped keep me pushing forward and keeping my own spirits high. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Humbling. There's that word again. That is so, wow. What an honor. Thank you for that, man. I hope you're doing great now.
I hope you're as big of a stand for the writers and the people who translated and did the writing and the text at the bottom. Well, I guess you wouldn't have needed that. The writing, the translators that to do that finagling, and the directors and the sound guys, and you're just as much of a fan of all of them as you are for Vic.
And super, super honored that Full Metal helped you get through such a situation.
The Sci-Fi Valley-Con takes place in Altoona, Pennsylvania.
Oh my gosh, I grew up in.
The only reason I'm saying that, by the way, is because Vic is a unique phenomenon.
In Pittsburgh area. I would love all you PA people, whoever wrote, who was Pokemon's Master, right?
Yep.
Write the staff. I would sure love to come.
Marsupial Gamer says, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Welcome, Vic. We all love and support you. Nick's okay too, I guess.
Oh, Nick knows that you're being funny. He knows that you love him most.
I hope not.
Hey, listen, I'm looking at the time here, and I'm seeing it's been over 2 hours. That's crazy.
It flies by, doesn't it?
It really does. It really, really does. I don't know what else I wanted to say, but thank you. There was something I wanted to mention.
Yes.
Just the other day, and I only wanted to mention it. It's so stupid, but I just wanted to mention it because somebody told me about it the other day. Apparently, one of the people on the other side of this issue keeps making some kind of a big thing out of Vic said he'd never been involved in a lawsuit, but he was. Okay, you guys.
Okay, you guys. Yeah, this sounds familiar. Go on.
Many, many years ago, I wrote a bunch of songs for a group, and they got signed to a record label. And my name was all over the project. I sang on it. I played keyboards on it. I arranged some of the songs. I co-wrote some of the songs, and years later, the record company released that album and they took my name off of it. And so I contacted an attorney in Houston, a music attorney, and he wrote the record company a letter, and the record company said, yeah, you are owed something. And they sent it on to the artist, and the artist wrote me a check. It never even got to the level of lawsuit. And it didn't even, when I was asked that question, I thought you were talking about something like this, like what we're dealing with here. And I've never been involved in anything like that. And the copyright thing didn't even ever get.
You hired a lawyer, meaning you were planning on doing or escalating to court if necessary, and you were able to resolve it outside of court. So yeah, you involved yourself, but it was resolved outside of court. It's not that hard to clarify.
To the level of being any kind of a lawsuit of any sort. So if any of you hear that bouncing around,
it depends on if they use the term litigation or if they use the term lawsuit. It's easy to mess up and cross hairs on that. Because that would have been him in litigation, but not in a lawsuit.
That's the reality behind that. And it was about 25 years ago.
Well, I mean, the person saying that is an idiot. I don't know how else to say that. That's the nicest thing I can say. And so with that.
But if you don't want to say anything nice, don't say anything at all. Why are you sending hate? Why are you insulting people? Blah, 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 blah. Litigation would be accurate. Lawsuit would be inaccurate. It's not their fault you misspoke. And now you're clarifying. They're not an idiot because you were wrong and misspoke something and now you need to clarify it. That's not them being wrong. That's you being wrong.
With that being said, I don't think anybody had any concerns about that, in all honesty.
Well, I mean, you know, it really bothers me.
I don't know if you saw that bait and switch or heard that bait and switch. He got something wrong. Somebody pointed it out. They clarified it, saying that, well, it wasn't actually any kind of lawsuit in the first place. Then called them an idiot for getting the thing that they said wrong incorrect. As if it's their fault, as if they're doing something wrong for them being incorrect. So Vic misspoke. Somebody understood what he said, called it out. Then they said, oh, well, here's the clarifying information. You're a liar and an idiot. How is that person at the wrong for you putting out not clear or at least not fully correct or accurate information? You flipped the blame for your mistake. I mean, clarifications happen. You don't have to spin every single one of them into people trying to, like, do anything to you.
When I hear things like that, because
Right.
I'm like, clearly they don't know what they're talking about, but if people don't know,
they're basing it off of the thing you said, though. That's still you. That's not them.
know any better, they may just assume that's the case. And so I had meant to mention that, and so there, I did it. But let me just, before I finish, you guys,
Yeah.
before I leave, thank you, Nick. Thank you for everything.
Everything.
Thank you for your support and your kindness. Like you mentioned early on, you didn't even know who I was. You didn't have any big allegiance to me or some childhood fandom that made you want to help. You just saw what you felt like was, you know, was an out of whack injustice, and you wanted to do something to help, and I will be forever grateful for that.
Well, it's
So Vic Mignogna is thanking Nick Reiketa for helping him? That thing that he said he wasn't doing and wasn't involved in the video that came after this one? What's he gonna do? Call me fat?
It's been my pleasure getting to know you through all of this, of course. because that was the thing. You know, I saw an injustice, and that was kind of like
You invented an injustice and profiteered off of it.
I didn't know the person behind it, but now I've gotten to know you over the past couple years, and I'm glad that that in some
If you weren't helping him, why would you be in such close contact over the past couple of years?
way, you know, I'm glad you turned out to be who you are, if that makes sense, because
Because he was easy to grift and easy to take advantage of, and his fan base was easy to grift off of?
consider it a great serendipity that I get to that I got to know you through this.
You targeted him and then made a GoFundMe with a shitload of money attached to it. That wasn't serendipity, that was intentional. What do you mean, serendipity? Get the fuck out of here.
It's an unfortunate way to get to know somebody.
Yeah.
I wish it would have been under
Not-
better circumstances.
Not the way I would have planned it.
Could have been better circumstances, wasn't, because you invented this.
That's for sure.
but
Thank
know,
you.
yeah.
Thank you to you, first of all. And then second to all of your audience and anybody that watches this. I want to reiterate
Oh my god, you're so welcome.
how grateful I am
He didn't mean
that you
me.
guys have enjoyed my work over the years, and especially grateful for the kindness and the support and the encouragement that you guys have shown me. I feel incredibly humbled and honored by it. And
He said the word humbled way too many times.
I hope to get the chance to thank all of you in person somewhere, sometime. But thank you. It seems to be really kind of inadequate
5,000 people were watching this live.
to describe how grateful I am. I've told a lot of fans over the years that they have come to me for almost 20 years and come to conventions and sometimes in tears
You can enjoy somebody's work and not like them.
and looked at me and said, "You really helped me get through a difficult time," or "You were really a light
Oh my
in
god,
my
it's
life."
the same
I've heard
thing.
that from thousands of people, and now the roles are reversed. And I'm able to tell you, you guys have been such an encouragement and a support to me through a dark time. And you have
Encouraging your fan base and Nick Reiketa and Nick Reiketa's fan base to continue harassing people because it benefits you is not the flex you think it is.
been such a light to me. So kind of cool how that worked out. Thank you so very much. I hope to see all you guys sometime soon. I've got Matsuri coming. I've got Wichita coming up. Got Matsuri coming up. Savannah coming up. I've got, I believe Bubba Fest is supposed to happen. I've got UltraCon coming up. I've got Myrtle Beach, XCon,
I wonder how many
in
of
Myrtle
those
Beach,
got.
South Carolina
I wonder how many of these he got canceled on.
coming up. I've got some signings I'm lining up in California and Connecticut, and so we will be announcing those things. I don't know if Nick will, but I'll be tweeting about them. And my fan club, the Risen Bull Rangers, any of you out there, thank you guys for your love. I love you guys. RisenBullRangers.com. Look for the announcements about the events that I'll be at, and please come out and say hello. And again, God bless you guys. Whatever your
That was the toxic as fuck. That's the toxic as fuck fan base I was talking about that he built.
faith is or isn't, I am incredibly grateful to God for all of you. So thank you. And Nick, thank you so much for the time to chat with you.
Thanks for coming on, sharing so much of your story. Thanks for staying probably a little longer than you thought or planned, but it's much, much appreciated. And I'm just glad that you got the opportunity to come out and share with all these people who have been watching this for so long, kind of opening the door into where you are. I think that's something great. Of course, there's some new information and stuff like that, which is nice. But really, it's you that I wanted people to to get to know. I mean, they may know you, but get to know how this story has impacted you over the past couple of years. So I really appreciate it. Thank you for coming on.
I do. Thank you, man. Give my best to the Reiketa family.
Yeah,
And,
I will.
We'll see you at Matsuri, right?
We will. I'm booked. I'm ready to be there, and it's going to be a fun time.
Absolutely. Take care, man. God bless you guys.
Yeah. See you later, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Bye. Okay. We need to give me a second here to get this is going to be weird.
Yeah, I agree. That was weird. All right. Well, fucking that was dumb. Nick's bank accounts appreciates it. Yeah, I know, right? The fact that none of these people ever demanded receipts for that GoFundMe is baffling to me. You got ripped off. They literally told you exactly what they were doing and why they were doing it in this one video. Like, I don't know what to tell you. They were wrong and douchebags the whole time. The admission that they didn't even know what they were being attacked for. The admission that that their lawsuit had no basis when he said that there were already stories about him going on before Ron was around. The weird fucking attachment he has to Jamie Marchi or Markey, sorry. That's fucking weird. Or sorry, Monica, that was Monica. The weird attachment he has to Monica. That's fucked up. That was super fucking weird. The fucking, like, the admission about how he's an egotist with a superiority, like an inferiority complex and like an obsessive need to have attention because he hasn't, like, he's so fragile. Like, I mean, there's a lot in there of small things to fucking... I wonder if Nick shared some of his cocaine with Vic. I don't know. Super weirdly obsessed with Monica. A little bit less about Jamie in this one, but definitely Monica. Like, I would... fuck, dude. I've had weirdos come at me before, but that was fucking weird. Well, I'm gonna go. I'm probably gonna take tomorrow off to let my arm and my voice rest after today and after streaming for 6.5 hours. So I'll take tomorrow off. I'll probably see you guys on Thursday. I'm looking forward to hopefully getting back into art again soon, but we'll see. But, yuck. Yeah, the emails are concerning. If you know any Vic fans that need to be, like, you think are capable of having a conversation, send them my way. I'll set up a time. We'll chat. We'll talk about why these things are problematic or not. I'm going to get a snack. I'm going to go eat some comfort food or something. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm leaving. Goodbye. Why do I always end these so weird? I don't know. Thanks for coming. Like and share and subscribe and stuff. Did you see how much money that dude made? Nah, man, I'm jealous. I wish I made that much money. Fuck, dude. I wouldn't spend it on cocaine. I'll give you that much. Probably spend too much of it on my dog. That's not true. There's no such thing. Puck is, by the way, for anybody interested, Puck is going back to the vet this soon. I've got to call and book that appointment, but that'll be coming up in the next couple of days. He's going to go get some blood work done because he is an old man. So look out for that. Go subscribe to the Debate Hub channel if you like these kinds of, like, more in-depth discussion about the concepts themselves without having to use Vic Mignogna or Nick Reiketa as a jumping off point. But yeah, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks so much for joining me. I hear Mars Girl's making a big timeline video, and I'm looking forward to watching that. But I'm going to get out of here. Bye! Have a good day, everybody. I'll see you probably on Thursday. Bye!